Hello, I wanted to make an intro to this video. I'll be with Jim and Kathy Horvath from Bruno, Minnesota. Also a guy named Rex Stark and Paul Hayshwin up there with me. We're part of a group of guys that we've been going out to the Black Hills every year with our horses and camping for a week for 28 years. A lot of our friends have heard about that, maybe even tired of hearing about it. But anyway, while we were up there for 12 of those years, we met Jim and Kathy Horvath. They were the camp hosts there. They're just a great couple. They care about people, even more about horses and livestock, and we just got to know them really well. And we had never been up to their place, hadn't seen them for a long time. Jim and I talk about every 3 weeks or so on the phone. But I wanted to go up there and just decided to throw the podcast gear, grab a couple friends, whoever could go along, and interview these two. While we were there, Jim took us for a tour around the acreage, and what I did is I just took pieces of that video and just placed them within the podcast itself and have a little bit of variety on viewership there, you might call it. So anyway, it was great getting up there. It's great seeing those guys again. Hopefully it won't be our last time. I don't plan on it being the last time, and I hope you have some time to just sit back and relax and learn about some new people. All right. Thank you. Hello, this is Jimbo from YouTube channel Jimbo, South Dakota, and this is a Hog House Chronicles podcast. And we are up in Bruno, Minnesota with two other guys from the Magnificent Seven, Paul Haysh and Rex Stark. We'll explain that Mag 7 thing a little bit later. But the reason we're here is we have Jim and Kathy Horvath. And they're from here. They got a very early start here. Jim has some military time as well, and also 12 years of being camp hosts at French Creek Trailhead at the Black Hills, and that's where we met these guys. So anyway, yeah, we're just gonna ramble on for a while and record it. Why don't you go ahead and start just whatever you want to say about where you were raised, how you grew up, some of those things, and we're just gonna freewheel it, let her go, but we're gonna make sure that we talk about the military time that you had as well. And Kathy and I spoke about that some while you guys were at lunch. And then you were talking about some things too that we'll bring up here. A lot of cattle stuff.
Yeah.
And then military stuff, and we'll go from there. So did you grow up right here, Jim? Real close?
No, I actually grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I was.
Where he was born.
Okay.
I was on.
Yeah, it's okay. We always just talk around the campfire, so just figure there's a campfire right here, Jim, and it's no big deal.
We lived in St. Paul, Minnesota, and there was my one sister and me and three other kids. We walked 14 blocks to school. We lived on McCubbin Street, and the school was on Rice Street. And as a young kid, for some reason or other, they always picked on me. Bullying, they call it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the way through school. I guess, she told me I was awful small. I didn't really think about it myself, but they picked on me a lot there. Well, then my dad, he got the harebrained idea of moving up in Mattawa, Minnesota, get rich quick cutting pulpwood. Well, that didn't go over very good. My dad, he had a heck of a temper. And I think I was in the 3rd or 4th grade, he bought me my first axe. I still got one scar on my kneecap from the axe, a little accident. And we're in Mattawa. I was taking care of 18 head of Hereford cows and one big bull. I'd pump water for them outside in the wintertime by hand and haul loose hay to them. And then that spring, I helped an old guy. He had the old corn planter. You usually pull it with horses, but he had it hooked on his tractor. So I would have to watch to make sure when the corn went down the chute, the end of the chute getting plugged up. And for that, he gave me a calf. And I already had 2 or 3 goats. So he fixed me up with the hay for the calf and the goats. The goats, they just ran around the place wherever they wanted to go. The calf I'd tie out every day, my pet calf. Mm-hmm. Well, one day I come home from school, and we got a gone carcass hanging down there by the barn.
Oh no!
Went down to see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. That's not what a young kid should see.
Yeah.
When it was
Right.
it was
Was a
your
pet.
your calf. Yeah, you took care of it. So yeah.
When did you get
And-
your nickname? And what was it?
Well, my nickname is Ponji. I don't know how I ever picked it up, but that's my nickname. I don't even know if my relatives know that anymore.
Who gave that to you?
My mom and dad, I suppose.
Your mom and dad gave you the
as far
nickname.
back as I remember, Ponji,
Well,
where are
your
you?
dad wouldn't,
Yeah.
but your mom might have.
Well,
Your
anyhow,
aunt did.
Yeah, the kids in the kids in Barnum School, he picked on me a lot too. I got to be more or less like a loner. And on the way home on the school bus, at one point, if we got off at that point and walked about 2:40s, we'd be home. And the bus took a longer route. Well, the bus driver seen how bad I was getting picked on. When my sister and I get off at that point, he'd make the other kids stay on the bus, so we could walk home and they wouldn't bother us.
Yep.
And I've just been by myself all the time, more or less a loner. When we moved over to Bruno, my dad, he gave up cutting the wood and going to be dairy. He wasn't a dairy farmer. That didn't last very long.
About how old were you when you came to Bruno then?
1955, how old would I be? I was born in 42. Mm-hmm. 13,
Yeah, 13-ish.
yeah, 13.
Starting
My-
teenage years, you moved over here.
Yeah. And that didn't work out very good, so my dad had to go back down to the cities. My dad, he couldn't read or write. And he went back to the cities to the old job in the scrapyard. Well, then before I even graduated, he also took on a second job down there as a grave digger. Well, being he couldn't read or write, my mom and the sisters, they had to move down there because my dad couldn't read, where the plots went for burial. So I was up here by myself. And the kids, they just kept picking on me. Well, then I went on to high school, and by then I was a real loner, and I just stayed by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess I just depend most of my life on the animals.
Well, and Kathy was saying too, while you guys were gone, that during that time you really got to know the older set of guys.
Oh yeah, the
And
oldest.
that-
Oh yeah,
I think that's where
I forgot about that.
a
Yeah.
lot of the Jim Horvath wisdom comes from.
Yeah,
Yes,
kids.
it does. Yes.
Kids of my own age, I never even hung with them. All the old people.
Yeah.
They taught me more than my dad ever taught me.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact,
Is this the place you moved to when you came to Bruno?
yes.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember my dad taking me fishing twice. The first time, it was him and his brother, and my job was to bail the water out of the boat that leaked. The second time, it was just me and him on Oak Lake. The wind was blowing so doggone hard, we didn't even get the fish. Other than that, I've never been to a ball game. People don't want to believe me, but like I tell them, why should I lie? I've never been to a ball game or
Right.
Any of those
baseball
sports.
or anything.
Yeah.
And when they'd have in school, they'd have like a spelling contest. Like the 7th and 8th grade were together. If the 7th grade got a better grade in spelling than the 8th grade, they got to go out 15 minutes earlier on Friday for recess.
Oh, really?
Well, being I never studied, they dragged their average down. So they eliminated me. So let's see. Then from there on, went to high school. There I was still by myself, and there was more kids in high school from other classes. And I just stayed by myself. And I lost my line of thought.
Yeah, you're moving into high school.
Yeah, Jim bought this farm from his parents when he was a junior in high school. And he paid about 3 to 4 times what it was worth because that's what they owed. And so now he's in high school and he's milking cows and doing the farm and trying to pay it off and keep everything going and keep his mom and his 3 sisters fed. And so he did a lot of, let's say, hunting when it wasn't quite the right season.
Sure.
But they needed the food. They needed the meat. They didn't have much, so.
So you as a young man bought the farm as a junior. Mm-hmm. paid 3 times what it was worth because you bought your whole family's debt and you took care of all that.
The banker even told me, let it go. You want to farm moose out, let it go. But I kept it. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, though, Jim.
Yeah.
I mean, you took on all that responsibility.
Couldn't imagine buying a place junior in high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was over $10,000 in debt at that time.
That's a lot of money then.
That's a huge amount.
I'll pay you triple
Yeah.
what you paid
I mean,
for it.
add a little bit to it. We could have bought all of Pine County, you know. I mean, that's how much was owed. So he's trying to farm, and his mom and his sister, who was a year younger than him, but they were in the same class.
She always took care of me. She actually beat the kids up. They were picking on me.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was his guardian. And
protected me.
she was good at it.
So, how
But
much-
they got him to finish school to graduate, which was a job.
how many of your family is still around?
I'm the only one left. And I'm the oldest. Oh, I flunked the first grade. I forgot to tell you, I flunked the first grade.
Which, by the way, well, because then you and your sister were in the same grade at
Yes.
that time then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Kathy when you guys are gone, I've raised 2 daughters, and I taught them, you see somebody getting bullied, you get right in there. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's male, female, or what. And
Yeah.
I know.
They did a good job of doing that, too, so it sounds like your sister did you right.
She did. She did.
I don't remember when I started trapping, but shortly we moved over here. I started trapping old timers, 2 old timers. And well, heck, we were eating everything: porcupine, raccoon, beaver. No, not beaver. Porcupine, raccoon, rabbits, grouse. What else? Anything that, and sometimes beef. Well, you know, heck, you get a calf, either you sell it for money that you need, so you end up selling it. Mm-hmm. I remember I had a big one trying to get $12.50 out of a calf. It was already weaned. Yeah.
That was good money then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's what we're talking about.
I got everything from little traps to bear trap. You want to see my bear trap?
Sure.
Okay, here, this trap here. See the pan down in there?
Yeah.
The raccoon has to reach down there and pull up. When he pulls up, that sets the trap off. This thing here, I used to be able to set this here by hand. You get old, you lose your muscle. Look at that sucker. Anyhow, he catches it. This here loop comes out of here. When he sets it off,
Grab some.
yeah.
I've never seen one before.
Yeah, they were good. But she won't let me set it anymore because that doctor pulled. Somehow the cat got in there. Of course, I got to take the cat leg off.
Yeah.
The cats, but yeah, works good with Bruno. Yeah. I'll get my bear trap. Heck, I lost. Had a building girl, lost over 100 traps.
Really?
He's still on trapping, yeah. And the collar bear traps and some of the beaver traps I kept, but a lot of the smaller ones just scrapped them. There's someplace.
There's the old Ford Dooley.
Oh, here's Jim. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. I think I recognize that handwriting, too.
And this here law enforcement, that's what I sent him off the coat cut. He spelled my name wrong. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This here is a Minnesota mouse trap. They grow big in the farm country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got it welded open.
That guy, one of the building bird lost his stuff on the street.
Oh, okay.
Boy, a lot of photos going by, huh?
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, so we'll catch up a little bit with Kathy because you grew up in this area as well.
I was
how
born.
Did you guys meet
I
and
was
all that?
born in a house just a mile up the road
Okay.
and lived there till I was at high school. Well, I did graduate from Moose Lake. We moved to Moose Lake in my senior year. But yeah, this is where I grew up, and I knew Jim from the time he moved here, and his sisters, and that. So, yeah, this has always been home. This area, it's so born here. I guess I'll die here at some point. But this is home.
Well, we walked around the acreage here too, and I'll be putting some footage in here, maybe at the end or whatever. I'll get that figured out later. But yeah, nice place. You guys just really take care of the place well, and you can definitely see where you set roots here, and you're just going to stay.
Yes.
I'd do the same thing.
Yes. When I graduated, I was in Moose Lake, just 20 miles from here, and lost track with Jim. And I was 24 when we reconnected.
Oh, okay.
And I was living in Willow River, and Jim came over on the pretense of looking for my dad.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
He was ready for that line.
Yeah. And 3
I think
weeks.
this conversation's happened before.
3 weeks later, we were engaged,
Wow.
and
There you go.
3 months later, we were married. But we knew each other too.
What year was that?
That was in '69.
Okay.
I only had an
August.
outside toilet, and she had a house for all the plumbing.
Yeah, I had a mobile home, and so we put the mobile home up next to the house and cut a hole in the house, and we used the living room in the house and my mobile home for the rest of it. So, because Jim didn't even have an inside bathroom,
Right.
No,
yet. So
And that was here on this property?
that was on this place, yes.
two-story house.
And the outhouse has been rebuilt, but that's where it's always been there. So,
Yeah, we got to
wait.
look at that. That was a
Yeah.
pretty sweet outhouse
Yeah.
as far as outhouses
oh
go.
yeah, it's a special one.
Excuse me, sir. Yep.
Let's see now. Do the barn. There's my outside dippy. Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
I went to use it here a couple weeks ago. I went there and pulled on my pants. I sits down on the john. Oh, ouch! Them doggone, how do you call them? Hornets were in there.
Oh.
So, I'm coming out of half mast. I fixed them suckers though.
It looks like a pretty fancy
Yeah.
outhouse.
I even got a lantern in there. Yeah, doggone, I had some of my good magazines in there. You see that white spot, the pipe on the,
Yeah.
there's a white spot. Well, I didn't see the post about out the toilet settle. Well, it never dawned on me the water was leaking around that pipe last summer.
Oh.
They had my doggone books. I had a book, a bunch of farm shortcuts and that kind of stuff like that. They got all wet on me. And I put a whole bunch of grease around it.
We started milking cows, and then he got a job out, and that milking was pretty tough. So then we switched to beef, and we went to Black Angus and worked our way up to raising some good stock, good breeding stock. They were all registered. They were all halter broke.
Okay.
And I used to show them at fairs. So
was this before or after his military time?
this was after his military.
Okay.
We were married after not quite a year after he got out.
Okay. Because you spent 3 years in the Army?
Yeah, and then 7 years in the guards.
No, about 9.
No, that many? Wow.
I think so.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move into your military time. How did you get interested in the military?
Hey,
And
I didn't go in the military. I was 22 years old. I had agricultural deferment, and I got thinking, the Vietnam deal, everybody else's kid is going. I'm nothing special, so I enlisted. And when I went in the Army, so help me, I thought I died and went to heaven.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was something boy.
Because I mean, they obviously had some heavy discipline over top of you, but
Yeah, that's
the
all
food
right.
was probably great.
Yeah, that's all right. But what they thought was hard labor or whatever they call it, getting up in the morning and exercising, that was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, that test you take in the beginning for your physical fitness, I almost maxed it.
Yep.
And at the end of the year, I actually lost points. I got soft in the military. Yeah, I did. No kidding. I got soft. Man, this is a gravy train. Yeah, it would be something.
Oh man.
I started out in Fort Carson. No, I started out in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I took automotive there. Then he took the top 10% of the class. In fact, when I was in Leonard Wood, I don't know how I got talking about it, but the sergeant wouldn't believe me that they make a water-cooled engine without a water pump. He wouldn't believe me. You know, old John Deere's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to prove it to him. Yeah. When I went on from they took the top 10% of the class, and he sent us on to Forts, Oklahoma for tanks. I had a choice, either helicopter or tanks. I went to tanks. And I went to school there. Then I went to Fort Carson, Colorado. Well, that was something, too. They needed a wrecker operator. 2 guys, and it was a total of 3 of us. And the other 2 guys, they must have been city guys because they got in and when they went to shift the truck, the wrecker, they ground the gears.
Oh.
I went in there, double clutched it. I got the job. Simple as
So
that.
what made you choose the tanks over helicopters?
Pardon?
What made you choose tanks over helicopters?
They told me that the helicopter is mainly a torque wrench.
Oh.
So I figured the tank, I get into more hydraulics, stuff I can use on the farm. Yeah. They tell me the doggone helicopter's watch a gauge so if a gear starts to go to heck, it shows up on the screen or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or a magnet or something.
Right.
To get the gear fragments. Yeah. So that's why I took up tanks.
So even in the military, you were focused on learning what you could use back here when you came home.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Pretty smart.
Yeah. That's why I done that. But man, I couldn't. So help me. I died and went to heaven.
Well, and part of that was the food stuff, and we'll get to that when we get to talking about the horse camp.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about that stuff every time we go on a horse trip. We've been doing this horse trip for 28 years straight now, and these guys were the hosts for 12 of those, so we have a lot of stories there. And
Plus, he came out with us, didn't he?
yep, for 3 after quit being the camp hosts. I don't know if they even delayed 1 year. Kathy and I were trying to figure that out.
Right.
But at most, maybe delayed 1 year.
Maybe, yeah. And then he
Maybe.
went.
Or it might have been the very next year. So then you came out with us 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So, but so how'd the rest of your time in the Army go then?
Real good. I went to from Fort Carson. I went to Okinawa. I did. In fact, Okinawa. I was supposed to when I was in California. They came out. They had us all lined up in lines. And they come down the line of guys, and they stopped right in front of me. And he said, "The ones ahead of me, orders all got changed for Vietnam." Well, I was supposed to go to Vietnam, join the 11th Cav. Mm-hmm. Well, the guy ahead of me he didn't like that idea, so I just swapped with him because I was going there anyhow. And I was supposed to join the 11th Cav at Fort Meade, Maryland, and we were supposed to meet up in Okinawa. So I was there as a holdover for a long time. And I started working on their, they got these, they handled 3 Hawk missiles. I started working on that stuff and their Jeeps and that stuff. They didn't have a mechanic up on Site 12 at Tanagaki. And I started working on that stuff, and by God, they kept me in Okinawa. I was one happy dude.
Yep.
One happy dude. I had a wonderful time over there.
Oh, yeah.
In Nago, we had to drive through Nago to get to the other end of the island. We were supposed to just drive through. They said it was communist. I got along good with them people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't imagine you not getting along with anybody.
Yeah. Right.
For 50 cents, I get a doggone big truck tire changed, fixed, repair. Yeah.
Black market. And he also checked out what? The Marines had the best food?
The Marines, yeah.
He checked them all this.
I mean, the CD,
All of them out.
Air Force. And,
Yeah, and figured out the
Really?
Marines.
Yeah.
That explains a few things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing for him.
But that Tanagaki I was on is up north of Nago. And it was blacktop going up the mountain. And it's so steep, a regular two-wheel drive vehicle, and it rained almost every day. It would spin out. So, well, they use a four-wheel drive. And if you got a taxi cab from the south end to take you up there, they couldn't go up the hill. So you had to kind of line up when they changed the gate guards and stuff. So you ride back and forth with them. That worked real good.
But he stayed there 13 months. He never took leave.
I was there during that what was that spy ship they weren't supposed to have, Pueblo? Was that it?
The Pueblo?
Remember that?
Boy, I don't remember.
It was a spy ship. It got
thought
caught
it was.
in North Korean waters.
Yeah.
So my replacement went up there. So they kept me right there all the time. They did. Oh, and then that Tanagaki up there is supposed to be just a one-month tour. They call it a hardship tour. But I just stayed there. I volunteered. They were surprised. And I'd go down and say I was in A battery. I'd go down to the South End Island A battery overnight, come back in B battery. I kept my same room and everything. I made E5. I had my own room. They just left my stuff right in the room. They never moved it or nothing. Yeah, that worked real good.
You made E5 in 3 years, huh?
Oh, heck, yeah.
There you go.
Be a little over 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got out after 3.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, I loved it up there. I guess the people up there, I love their welfare program. Either you eat and you still might starve, and the ones that did, there was no assistance. There's no assistance at all. Either you worked or you went hungry.
Yep.
Yeah. One time I pulled his old Papa's on. The tide was coming in. He stuck out there with his truck. I was going to the south end. I load these missiles on the B-52 bombers. And the old Papa's on. He's out there. The tide's coming in. He's just stuck with his truck. I took the old cable off the wrecker and pulled him out. He gave me a pineapple. And I had it in my locker. I didn't smell it, but the other guys did. Get that out of your locker. Yeah.
It was either bad already, or you waited. Did you wait a little too long to eat
Yeah,
it, or was it bad already?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, the poor guy probably had nothing to give you, and he gave you what he had.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the doggone typhoons would come in, you had to have a rope between the barracks and the mess hall. See, it was raining so hard.
Mm-hmm.
One time, there's different categories for the tornadoes. It gets down to, I don't remember, 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. Then the last missile has to go in. The last, there's 3 of them on a carrier, and the last one goes in there. And I pulled in the Jeep. I was coming out with the Jeep, and the doggone wind and rain was so strong that I was chattering. It's taking me
Just
sideways.
pushing the
Just
Jeep
pushing
sideways.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then as soon as the storm goes down, you got to get the missiles out right away. That's the best time for the enemy to come in. Mm-hmm. And somewhere they had the, I don't know, a ward or what happened, but the pilots and the jets had tried to sneak in under our radar. And by God, one done, you come on off the South China Sea. I thought he was going to go between the barracks. He's so low. He done it, but yeah, it's really something. Yeah. And I had I had 3 extra parts bins over the fence. Me and the Marines done a little part swapping.
Oh, did you?
And also, I don't remember if the Okinawans had the wheel bearings and I had the oil filters or the other way around, but we done a little wheel deal in there too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. One time they were getting ready to move down off the mountain, and the doggone transmission went out of a 3/4 ton. So I went down south end of the island, went in the motor pool I got belonged there, grabbed a creeper, toolbox, went back out, got in line up. I took the transmission out of one of the 3/4 tons. Doggone it broke my back getting out of there. Yeah. Well, then I put in a trailer. Yeah, heck, why take the creeper back? I took the creeper too.
Oh, man.
Then another time I had to go down to Cadena and pick up a trailer for that they pull behind a Jeep. I think they call a 1/4 ton trailer. And apparently when they have them shipped in, there's one on top of the other, so it's 2 of them. Why unhook the top one? I took 2 of them. Mm-hmm. Well, I done some wheel and dealing. I think I've done that wheeling and dealing with the Seabees. No, yeah, I think I've done it with the Seabees. Yeah, I like to barter, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of fun over there.
Yeah, he loved it over there.
Then when I came back, holy mackerel, talk about having the carpet pulled out of your feet. The way the people in California are against the GIs then.
Oh, yeah.
They even advised us not to wear a uniform home. Mm-hmm. That shocked me. I couldn't believe it, the crazy people.
I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My dad was in Vietnam and coming back.
Boy.
It
Yeah.
was not good.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Why do you do this?
It was a very disgraceful
Heck, we just
part
do,
of our history.
You do what you're trained to do, and you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were just following orders.
Yeah.
You know, it's
My dad was trying to provide for our family, so he volunteered 2 tours to go to Vietnam.
yeah, wow.
What?
Yeah. Well, you guys weren't welcomed home. So what the military people are doing now, they'll have events and all this stuff, and this is what they do. They say, "Welcome home, soldier."
Thank you.
Yeah.
You bet. Absolutely. Yeah, they have a special day for that. And they also, I just found out yesterday, I believe, was a special day, the POW MIA Day
Ah.
that they have. And we saw some guys standing on bridges and stuff with
Flags.
flags and
With the
stuff
flag.
yesterday. So,
Wow.
Yep. So
Good.
they have a Vietnam Day. And this last year, it was on Good Friday, which might have been 29th of March. We'd have to take a look here. But it's not always Good Friday, but I think it's the 29th of March or right close there.
Just especially for Vietnam.
Yeah. So
veterans.
there might be a local DAV or something that maybe celebrates that stuff. It might be something worth looking into up here.
Yeah.
Maybe
We
there's
have
something you guys can
American
go to.
Legion in Bruno.
Yeah, you could ask there.
And Jim just joined there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, three meetings ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, good on you.
So,
They have to keep a certain number up, and I joined, but I told them I can't get involved in all this stuff because I'm too busy myself. Mm-hmm. They need a certain number of people for different things.
Right. And all those organizations, they have a big list of members and then a smaller list of who goes to the meetings or
it's usually the dirty
participates.
dozen who
Yeah,
run,
dirty dozen.
take care of things in any organization like that.
Right. So does anything else stand out in your military time?
What's that now?
Does anything else stand out that you remember about your military time? There's something there. You may not want to say it, I guess.
Oh man, had a good time.
There you go. There you go.
A couple times I woke up in the Marine barracks. They drive me off the street, down the BJL,
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time I just remember this doggone Scotia cab honking the horn. I'm laying in the street honking the horn at me. Next thing I woke up in the motel. Yeah.
I think most of us have gone through the
Yeah.
military had a night or two like that.
Did I tell you I didn't go in the military? I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
So in Okinawa, the guys over there, they call me Okinawa Papa-san. They had a little hat made for me and written inside, Okinawa Papa-san, yeah. I had a lot of fun over there. Boy.
All right. So then you went in at 22, got out, got married, sounds like almost immediately.
Yeah.
About
after
a year.
that. It was a year then?
Yeah, year and
Okay.
a half after that.
That was a good one too. After we got married, I told these guys one day, I told her I gotta go get some meat. She had to go to a meeting. Went up to another farm. We didn't own it at that time. July, I just looked under my right, I got it under the butt plate the day I shot the deer. Is in the month of July 18th or something like that. A little out of season, but
Yeah.
I go and get my own meat. When she came and seen the thing hanging in the garage, oh my God, she didn't know she had married an outlaw.
Yeah. Oh, I found out.
I found out that I didn't shoot any more deer out of season, but sometimes I got the buck only. If I needed meat, brown is down. That's the way I operate.
Yeah. Well, early on, I mean, that's what you knew was feeding your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Whatever you needed to do.
And we needed to do that when
Yeah.
first married. We didn't have.
Yeah, we had some pretty lean meats. Some pretty lean.
Yeah.
When I was
Didn't
younger.
have a lot, you know. But
Yeah.
My dad, he'd try to come home on weekends from the cities.
He's the one person that, when Jim turned 18, his parents moved back to the cities, his mom and his sister. Yeah. So usually it's the opposite way. When you turn 18, they kick the kid out. Well, no, they left. So then he was batching it. But
Well, they definitely knew you could take care of yourself.
Yeah, he
I
was.
mean, with everything you did with taking care of yourself and them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty amazing.
The lady that ran the restaurant in Carrick, it was a garage, beer joint, barber shop, and cafe all in one big building, long one-story building. And her name was Fanny. Well, sometimes some of the meat would get spoiled when she didn't want her husband Milt to know about it, so I'd go in back and get it. I'd use it for bait when I was trapping. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't tell Milt. Don't tell Milt.
yeah.
Well, it didn't get wasted either.
No. Yeah.
Did you do a lot of trapping?
Oh, yeah. I had a building burned, and I had a little over 100 traps I lost in that fire, plus some snares. Yeah. I show you the bear trap. I show you the bear trap? Yeah, I show you the bear trap.
He didn't do any trapping after we were married.
Yeah, she don't like it.
No, I don't. And trapping especially.
Yeah.
You know, I got to accept, the deer and that. So, but the trapping, no. Couldn't handle that.
Make your money a different way.
Yeah, couldn't handle that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Comes a grocery, you get it any way you can get it.
Well, I still like macaroni and cheese, so don't need the meat.
One time, I think we were married. I got the dog on the dump road. Seen a fox caught in the snare. When we were married then. Mm-hmm. I think I'm getting got $65 for that doggone fox, and didn't even have to skin it.
Wow.
That was what year would that have been? After we were married.
Oh, we were married then, so
Yeah, I don't know what the heck.
a couple of years,
I couldn't believe it.
70, early 70s.
In fact, she had it made for me, a skunk hat. I used to wear in the parades. I still got that thing.
Yeah, he used to go on parades
Old
with his
trapper.
other mare, Tanya.
Yeah.
And traps and hides hanging all over her, and
Bear trap over her butt.
but yeah, and he'd have an old
That old raccoon coat or deer coat. Boy, that
Yeah.
thing got pretty hot in summertime wearing the parade.
yeah. So yeah,
Okay, where should we go? That's one chicken. The eyes look okay, but I think the sucker's blind. So I gotta keep it here. It goes out here. So I chop the head off this one. Got my axe so y'all would get It's also a pretty good neck and stuff on the floor. He hung up on. The window grabbed the door and slammed her shut.
Look at this thing. The buggy.
That's the old doctor's buggy.
Yeah, the doctor's buggy.
Nice.
We told the senior citizen Carrick they had their 100th year with that old buggy.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
We used to pull Santa Claus in the Moose Lake for Santa Claus Day and for Christmas. And the first year we done it, the mayor come down there, was putting a harness on the horse, and the mayor of Moose Lake came down. He says, "What safety features do you have?" Oh, what the heck? This one here, I had to take the carburetor off it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Had to take the farmer on dead a couple of times. Yeah. Oh, here's one. No, these are our newest chickens.
Well, they look in good shape.
Yeah. WD-45. This is little car you just. I know you got another 2 minutes. Oh, I got tired. Oh, I got her tied down pretty good.
Yeah.
take this thing all the way in the carriage for her.
Really?
Yeah. She's getting that buggy trot and she just go and go and go and go. Little girl. Yeah.
Wow. That is cool.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And here's my snowblower tractor.
Gotcha.
Where'd you get this, Jim?
I bought an auction. I would buy more.
Somebody
Did you
restored
do
it.
all the wood and stuff, or what did it came with?
I bought just like this.
That's nice.
You guys know what this here is? I've had it good for many years. Oh man!
Holy cows!
You ever see him?
What is that?
On the westerns, you'll see me if you watch closely. When the doctor pulls with the buggy,
Yeah.
you put on the
Bit.
snap on the bridle of the horse, and the other one goes on here. You walk off and leave him. If there's no hitching post,
Gotcha.
that's that. Yeah, that's
A mobile hitching post.
Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah. And there's a 3 hay burner.
Moving into the beef cattle side, how did that all
Right.
work for you? And how did you
Well,
grow your herd?
We tried to keep our heifer calves to grow the herd, but we ended up with one nasty bull.
Great Northern 900.
And when we got rid of him, we couldn't keep any of his heifer calves. They wouldn't go for you.
So
So,
just trying to halter break them, they attack you.
Really?
yeah. So
Yeah.
then we started working basically good disposition and bring them up. And every so often we'd buy a few heifers of good bloodlines that I liked. Southern Minnesota, Marshall is where we got most of our bulls because he had some really nice ones. And we used to wean calves around 450 pounds, no grain. That was just off mom in the grass. Same way with the others, but we worked it up to 750 pound wean calves, no grain, just
Through breeding.
through the good
breeding.
watching our breeding, strictly watching the breeding and the bloodlines.
So how many head?
We never had more than 30,
Okay.
and that was hard to,
That's brood cows.
yeah.
And you got the calves
keep-
on top of that in the bowl.
Yeah, to try to get enough hay around. You know, we rented places and put up a lot of hay. And he was working full time at Diamond Tool and Horseshoe, and still putting up 1,000, bales, square bales of hay. And I used to show the cattle at county fairs in the area, several. That was our advertising. And that worked out well. But he was working full time, so I was totally in charge of the cattle at the fairs. And
Didn't you say you'd bring like a dozen at
usually
a
a
time
dozen.
by yourself?
Yeah.
to show
Usually would
the
have
cattle?
12 head.
Wow.
The bulls, if they would accept bulls, and our
Yeah, now they don't.
no, yearling bulls. Stony was one that was 2. We took him, and cows and calves, and so quite a job to get them all taken care of, and I showed horses at one of the fairs too, as well as the cattle, because I was raising quarter horses and showing them. So but it worked. We made it work.
She's got a driving harness trophy I got in the bedroom at from Pine Creek Saddle Club. These other people had to do fancy carts, and we just had a homemade training
cart.
She whipped them.
Fun.
Well, I've been logging with her. She'd back right up real nice, straight and that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
One time it was on a weekend, and he loaded up bales on a little bobsled with Tanya, and she's right by the hay shed, and
There's
he
a
put
deep
all the
snow.
bales on, and
Haystack.
he'd say, okay, click to her, and let's go, and she'd like lean into it, the harness, and lean in, and couldn't budge it, and he's trying to think it froze down, and
it
he's
froze
trying
down.
to pull it up, and all of a sudden we noticed that when she leaned forward, she wasn't tightening the tugs. So she was putting no pulling power. We saw that, And he gave her a little slap on the butt, and she walked right off with it. So she was faking him out.
Yeah.
Tell them all the time I left her out in the field.
Oh, yeah. I came in the house. He was done with chores. And I look across the field, and there's Tanya standing way across the field
Waiting for
in
me.
the winter, waiting for him. He told her they were to stop, and she stopped, and she stayed.
Wow.
I'd have her walk across the field. I'd be on the sled dumping bales off. And at the end of the hole, then I'd get up and cut the twine.
Yep.
And for some reason, I cut the twine, went in the barn, hung the twine up, and cut the house.
Forgot the horse. Forgot the horse. Sometimes he'd put a stocking cap over her ears,
Yeah.
and she'd leave it there.
Yeah.
Oh, yours got cold.
Yeah.
Well, and you were talking about halter breaking like all your heifers and
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And milk the cows by hand.
yeah.
All the meat cows.
So
milked by hand.
tell that story you were telling me here when he was trying to get all them
Oh,
cows in the barn.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. On the beef cattle, because
What?
I worked with him the
Forgot
most.
about that.
Yeah, I did most of the work with him.
War horse.
Yeah. And this was in the evening. He was home from work, and he went out, and he said, cow is going to calve. I'll put her in the barn. And he's out there for, I don't know how long.
Oh,
You know.
no, we talking dairy cow or beef cow?
No, the beef.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
And he's
me the
out there.
gun.
He came in the house, and, that blankety blank cow, he couldn't get her in the barn.
She's going to have a calf.
Yeah, going to have it outside. And I said, well, just wait a minute. I'll go down there. And I went down to the barn. As I walked through the barn, I picked up a rope halter and walked out in the barnyard, put the halter on her, and let her in the barn.
I was trying to herd her in the barn. I only saw
Yeah,
what the
he was
cross
trying to
the barn
herd
light
her.
Was, but
He was trying to chase her in the barn, herd her in the barn. That didn't work, but
You're probably real happy and real mad all at the same time.
Yeah.
oh, he was. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a picture too you were showing me over there of kind of leaning into the horse camp portion, is being in the cart and you're leading a horse on either
Oh, yeah.
side.
Yeah.
And what were people asking and what
People-
was your answer?
Yeah.
People were asking, well, how did you train your horses to walk on each side of the golf cart when you were in there alone? And I said, we didn't train them, we just did it. I mean,
They read your language.
our horses just did it. We expected them to do it, and they did.
Yeah, so we were talking about the training style, on the horses, and you didn't act nervous or anything when you're running them with the cart next door and one on each side, and so they just did it.
Yeah, I know.
Repetition is training. So
Oh, yeah. Had a friend that I would body clip her horses for her
Oh, yeah.
if needed. And she just swore up and down that they weren't going to stand there. They're going to run, they're going to kick, they're going to fuss. And I'd go down there and body clip them. And they'd stand there. And she couldn't believe they were just standing there. And I said, I just expect them to.
yeah,
I expect the best, and if it gets to the worst, we'll handle it. But always expect that they will. And they did. I mean,
And this lady she's talking about, she'd untie her horse in the barn and they'd run right out. She had no control over them. And one day she called me up, the horse went out, it tore. She had a doggone plank nail on the horse's side of the post.
for a tie
So the
stall.
post had, the phone or something rang, the horse jerked back, pulled that plank loose, that 2x4 went out. When I found the horse, he ran right through the bottom of the belly and come out on top of the back, the horse.
oh wow,
I had to shoot it for her. Yeah.
man,
But she had no control of the animal at
yeah,
all.
pulled those nails or screws right out of there by having
Oh,
that
yeah.
plank on the wrong side.
And you can imagine
And I told
what
her,
it takes to put a 2x4 through an animal.
Yeah. And I told her, don't come out there, but she went out there with me. Well, when I took the halter off the horse, standing there, and the horse whinnied at me.
Looking for help.
yeah, man,
She
Things
lost
like
it.
that shouldn't happen, but our animals, we just
I told her.
expect them to do things and be good, and they are. Same thing with when I taught dog obedience. Always expected the best out of any of the dogs until they prove different. Then we'll go to where they are,
right?
so.
Oh, I got something I want to add. Or maybe I said something about it when I was a kid. The only thing we ever celebrated was Christmas, Thanksgiving, and birthdays. Otherwise, no family picnics. I don't know why. Just weren't that close, I guess.
Right. So the rest of your family probably wasn't that close. Didn't have any family reunions or anything.
No, nothing.
Pretty much alone.
Yep.
Stuck to themselves mostly.
He knew a few of his cousins, but they just kind of reconnected about 5-6 years ago with one cousin who's out in Montana.
The bank called me.
Reconnected.
The bank called me. A guy didn't want to know if I was still alive yet, and he wanted the phone number. Well, the banker called me to ask if he get permission how to get out here. I said, well, ask him. If I owe money, you don't know me. That's what I told him. Yeah, I haven't seen any little kid.
So they've, keep in touch now. And he has a cousin in Ketchikan, Alaska, and he has gone up there a couple times.
Ketchikan. Now, you guys have done Alaskan cruises, right?
We have done, yes,
Three
of them.
Did they go into Ketchikan?
Yes, and then he would
Because
meet.
that's on the southeast side.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he'd meet us and drive us around.
sweet.
And, so that worked out good there. But those two cousins just recently kind of reconnected after all these years.
The one up in Ketchikan, the first year I went up there, I don't know if I found his phone number. I think I found his phone number somehow.
You found it in the phone book, but there's no public phones.
So came home and wrote him a letter. And now they talk, a few years ago, taught me getting this, you pay a little extra every month, I can call the United States and Alaska. Mm-hmm. So I call him once in a while.
Yeah, I keep in touch. But that's about it for his family. My family, we always had visited back and forth all the time, and we've had family reunions and stuff. So, which is fine for him to go to because he knows all of them too.
Sure.
It's
Well, and there's a lot of couples where, the relationship leans a little more towards one side than the other anyway.
yeah.
I know mine was that way for quite a few years.
Was it too?
Lean more toward my mom's side in Wisconsin. So that's where I was born, by the way. I don't know if I ever told
Oh
you
no,
that.
Wisconsin?
didn't.
Yeah. Then my dad
What
got
part of
killed.
Wisconsin?
It was Pepin County, born in a town called Durand. Or Durand, however they say it. I say it the way my grandpa said it. It's Durand.
Durand.
Yeah, I love my grandpa.
And you lost your dad when you were young?
I have an older brother, and then my dad got killed 6 months before I was born, right before Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
And then a couple years later, my mom had met a guy from Elk Point, South Dakota on the railroad crew, and they met and got married and brought me to South Dakota. So
That's how you ended up there.
Yeah, that's how I started getting. That's why I was able to hang out with these two fine gentlemen over here. Otherwise, I'd have been over in Wisconsin, probably racing ice cars or something.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Hey, should I try to start this sucker for the heck of it?
Sure.
Hey, I haven't had it going on for last fall. But I think so. That's right. That's just caught in the fan. No, I probably want to show off when I start. Give it a try.
Get this off this flywheel.
Don't let me down, girl. Don't let me down. I had it overhauled a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, and I got the original mag and all the other tanks and that stuff, but I got this here, I wanted to use it, so I got the fuel bowl gas bowl, it's hooked up on the wrong side. I didn't want to give any more turning period, it might strip something. I gotta find the throttle that's on. It's been a year. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So then you guys made your way to being at the horse camp, the hosts. There's some time in between there from where we've gotten to right now to
Yes.
that point. What went
Right.
on in that time frame, and how did it get to where you became the host at the campsite up there, campsites?
Well, some of our neighbors and friends had been going out there as a group every year. And so we went out with them and we loved it. And we went out with them, I don't know, 3-4 years. And then we went out ourselves too in between. And the camp hosts that were there said they needed new camp hosts for May and June. And would we be interested? So I went over to the office and filled out an application. We got a call. And so the next year we went out May and June. Then we came home in July and put up hay like crazy and went back out in August because the other camp host took the fall. So there were 3 of us kind of there. Well, then the ones in the fall, we got a call from the park saying, could you come back out here as camp host, and how fast can you get here?
Yeah, I said, don't even come to horse camp. Park down the Buffalo Corrals. We'll come and get you.
They had
They
to
were stealing money.
they had to get rid of the
Really?
other hosts.
Oh,
Well,
man.
sites that were reserved and nobody came in, and they resold them,
Oh, man.
and you know that kind of stuff went on. And
We had guys come out and set up their tent or a trailer where it wasn't even any campsite, but they were getting charged for campsite. And yeah,
getting away with that. And
one,
that
one
had,
of the maintenance guys caught it. You know, those slips they put in the post. They were turning over and putting new dates on there. They collect the money in cash. Yeah.
so, and they had been doing that for a few years.
And how
but
many
they,
years? How much
but
you
they
take in a
couldn't.
year?
They couldn't get the proof.
Right.
And when they did, well, then they call us. Well, actually, we were out there in 3 days.
Wow.
That's
I was
quite a
out on my
trek
deer
from
plot
here.
where I should
Yeah.
How many miles is it from there?
740.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, we drove straight through. And
Long day.
we've driven straight through quite a few times, actually. And we ended up then doing the fall. And then the hosts that had the middle part, August, I guess, I got the dates wrong, then they retired from it. So we ended up with the whole summer. So we'd get out there May 1st and come home November 1st. And camp host, when we did our training for that, the people training us, they said, don't make friends with any of the campers because they
We were talking
will,
about this while you were gone, too.
yeah, they will expect favors from you. And Jim and I, well, that ain't going to work because we're treating everybody the same, regardless. You know, if you're my next door neighbor and I love you dearly, these are the rules and this is the way. So, and they said, you work in camp for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the early evening, and then in the rest of the time, get out of camp so nobody bothers you.
Jim,
Well-
you remember that lady at Camp Hosa come up and asked me about the Band-Aid deal? Remember that? The first year I went back out with you guys?
Asked us about what?
The Band-Aid.
Band-Aid?
She come up and she asked me what I'd do.
The hosts that were
Somebody woke me
there.
up at 7 o'clock in the morning want a Band-Aid. I said I'd give it to him, but by 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm on my third breakfast. That's what I was with you guys.
So we just proceeded to work camp, like French Creek Horse Camp, like it was kind of like it. We had a stake in it ourselves.
Well,
You know,
and that was very evident with us. We'd have to look back. We're figuring it was probably 2002
two
or
or three.
three.
Yeah.
that they started
Okay.
doing that there. So I'd have to look on the trip chart to see who all of us was there.
Right.
But I mean, we took to you guys right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did the same. We made a lot of friends out there. And we had camp-wide fish fries every year for quite a while. Guys would come out from Wisconsin and fish for nice big perch,
I'd go with him.
and they'd fillet them and put on a camp-wide fish fry. I mean, you know, that was unheard of. The people that worked there, they just were in awe. One of our supervisors, he said, you know, there's the rule book for the campground host, and then there's the Horvath way to run horse camp. You know, it's... And so then after, I think it was around the third year, I put in a design for extra pens. Because when we started, there were only 2 extra pens in the entire horse camp. And most people came out with at least 2 horses. And you put 2 horses in the same pen, they can be best buddies at home, but they're not in that smaller pen. And so I had everybody in charge of the park, including the superintendent, come out, and I walked them around and showed them where new set of pens could be put, and renumbered all of the sites and the pens. So everybody had 1 pen paid for, and then the second pen was $5 a night. And
Yeah, and we remember you guys and you in particular walking around, Jim, with people needing an extra pen or somebody else put in the wrong pen, and then it was getting messed up. And you know, you guys were always great at keeping people from fighting or arguing, or you know, you always come up with an easy way to fix a situation with extra pens and things.
oh yeah, sometimes I'd move a horse every night for a person just so they had their own pen. So
One
we
guy-
played ring around the pens.
One
many
guy,
times.
he had mules, and he was in the oil rig industry at the paperwork end of it. He had money to burn, and I helped him move his mules every day. He said, "Jim," he says, "I'm gonna make a mule lover out of you." I said, "Yeah, sure."
His last name didn't happen to be Sorensen, did it?
Might have been.
Sorensen.
I can't remember his first name.
Yeah.
See, we've got all kinds of stories of, you know, being
Yeah.
around campground. I was
Oh, sure.
telling these guys where sometimes, you know, something will happen and somebody will say one word and we'll all just start laughing. And we'll either finish telling the story or we won't have to because everybody knows. But there was a Mr. Sorensen out there, and he just kind of had a manner of speaking, you know, just kind of, it was just a little bit different, you know. But the thing we remember, he told us about the mules. He says, yeah, when you're out there, and if you're out on the trails and the mule goes down, you just take off the saddle and walk away.
Oh my goodness.
It was a myth. So ever since then, we've talked about Mr. Sorensen in our camp, and I wonder if it's the same guy.
It's possible. I can't remember the name right now, but
When the mule people would brag to me about their mules, I'd tell them, "I'm so glad the cowboys didn't have mules when the Indians were chasing them. You come to a creek, the mule didn't want to cross it, you're dead." You know?
mules, yeah, mules is a different animal. You have to get a strong bond with them.
The thing we did hear about, though, from some of the hunters, because we're going to get to your birthday in a little bit here, but some of the elk hunters and other people out there had talked about mules being the thing to have for hunting, because they would come up to a fence and they would cross the fence, lay their rifle down, grab the reins, and the mule would just jump over like a deer.
Yeah.
And then they'd hop back on and keep going. That was the one positive thing I heard about mules out there.
They can jump. They can
want
jump.
to, I suppose.
Yes, when they want to. You don't make a mule do anything it doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
We had some interesting things with mules, mule people. We had one group come in an old ragtag stock trailer, and you could tell they were from the hills,
Tell my neighbors.
hillbillies. The neighbors saw them come in. They said, "Don't let them know we're here. We don't want to know." Anyway, these guys unload 2 mules and a horse, and they're mule trainers. That's what they did. They trained mules. And they had so much trouble with those mules, getting them into pens, getting them out of the pens, which is easy.
Right.
It should be. And one day, Jim and I are heading towards Bluebell on the dirt road, and up from the creek ran a horse and a mule. So we stopped, got out, got a hold of them, because somebody's in camp. We kind of figured who it was. Nobody else around, couldn't see anybody. So Jim is standing in the road with the mules, and I said, I will go across the creek and I'll drive down this road to the creek crossing. That's as far as I go. So I get down there, I get to the creek crossing. Here across the creek, one mule is tied to a little pine tree, and it's a bucking and jumping and pull, and 2 people are laying on the ground. And they said, I don't know what happened, but we got bucked off. So they came across the creek, got in the truck, and they called me. An angel with a dually showed up. So we get everybody back to horse camp. And first, they didn't know what caused their mules to start bucking. Then it was a deer. And next, it was a cougar.
They went to the mule days someplace in Missouri.
They went down a trail
Story down
ride,
there
a
about
mule.
big cat attacking them.
Yeah, the cougar attack. So it grew. And the daughters with them rode the horse. And she said, you take a horse and you take a donkey and you cross them. And she says, and you get that. But we saw some really, really nice mules. We saw some really good ones.
Right.
But when you see a bad mule, it's not fun.
Yeah. Jim, you got a cougar story, don't you?
Pardon?
Do you remember your cougar story?
Yeah.
All right. You tell us that one.
Yeah.
What happened?
We were coming back
First tell us how you, this is after you started going with us.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So how would we get you on the horse and then go from there?
Yeah, we were riding the horse back, and we were going back to camp, and some people were coming towards us. And the horse I was using belonged to Jim, wanted to turn around and go with the other horses. So I corrected it, turned his head too sharp or something, so he's going around in a circle. I didn't realize the saddle was loose. So I fell off in the water hole. So I comes back to camp all excited, telling Jim, mountain lion jumped on me, knocked me off the horse, and in the pothole I went.
And all you guys are over there just smiling away.
Yeah.
Because at first I looked and I was like, what? And it's like, yeah, a cat jumped on my back. Knocked me into the water hole.
We did have a cougar kill an 8-point buck down at the south end of the part of the camp, in horse camp.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then he tried to drag it across the creek, and the antlers got hung up in the rocks. So the cougar ate a good part over the chest area of the deer, the rib area, and left it. And then we knew he'd come back the next night. So one of our rangers moved the carcass, because you really don't want a cougar coming into horse camp. Me, I would have gone down there in the truck and just sat there and waited for him to show up.
That's
But
the one that Jose's seen.
I was just
get
going to
killed.
ask you guys, were you in camp?
Yes,
When,
I was.
well, that's when Jose's brother came
it was
along.
dark.
And they were driving in, coming in the back way.
Yeah,
I
that
think you
hill.
were there.
Yeah, I was there.
So what do you guys remember that story with Jose?
Jose just said he's seen a mountain lion attack a deer.
It was on the back end of that deer, and then the deer got away,
Yep.
and then that mountain lion just kind of trotted after the way the deer went. That's the way I heard it.
And it seems
I'll
like
bet-
that was maybe just before coming up the hill, right before camp where they used to have that
Yeah.
cattle grate.
Right.
And then come down.
Coming
so
down.
it was right before that.
Right.
They saw a flurry and it had jumped on there, and then deer went up and over, and then the lion was going to go around, something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
That could have been the same deer
Yep.
and cougar,
yeah.
because that was close and finished the job and got it in horse camp.
Yeah, Jose and Goyo, his brother Goyo, came from Venezuela. Wow. And then Jose had to head back, and his brother Goyo stayed. So we had a Spanish and American English dictionary and stuff. So he stayed the whole time,
Yep.
and we were just communicating as best we could and stuff. He just had a great time. But
Oh, great.
we did kind of have, I will say, we did have kind of a Dumb and Dumber moment there because it was extra cool that year, and I had my horse trailer there. So in the front there was a camper area. You've slept in there with me a couple times, but I had found this hat with the flaps down here, and we were already 3/4 of the way through the trip. I don't know if Goyo ever saw the movie Dumb and Dumber when the one had 2 pair of mittens and the other one didn't have any, and he's, "Oh, your hands are cold." Well, take these. My hands are getting a little sweaty. And he's like, "You had those this whole time?" I don't know if Goyle ever saw the movie, but that's what I saw in his eyes when I brought this hat on. "You've had this."
Yes, and then he's freezing, and
He wasn't looking for a dictionary to tell me his disgust of it.
yeah, you kind of he made it pretty clear what he was saying.
'Cause
Yeah,
we are kind of used to that kind of weather, but he's from Venezuela. And
Yeah.
he goes up there and he's freezing.
He had that red winter coat on like all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. Before it got very cold.
Yeah.
and it wasn't even that cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go had a great time though, and all that. So
Well, we did too. Always with all the people, in horse camp. My job, I took it on is when a camper left, I went in there with the golf cart and I cleaned that site. And I didn't leave a single cigarette butt anywhere in camp and even on the road. I mean, I tried.
He put down coins.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, he wanted to know if I could pick up coins with my grabber. Yeah, I did. Worked. I picked. So
well,
he
you
left.
shouldn't have to be doing that picking up. We make
Exactly.
sure everything is
Yeah.
policed
Oh
Oh, big
better
time.
than when you got there.
no,
Is
I
what-
cleaned a lot, and
But when he left the campsite, he put coins out there just for
yeah,
people to follow.
yeah, for me to
Really?
pick up.
I needed you last year because we think we left our
Fire
very
poker.
special fire poker that we've used for
Oh.
decades, and I think we left a fire poker out there last year. So I'm learning to
Yeah,
let it go.
yeah, but that's hard. You kind of want that.
Did it have
I
like
just.
did it have like a spiral in the end? Spiral?
Yeah, the one with
I
the
got it.
spiral on the handle end.
Huh?
I think I got it.
You got
I
it?
think
Why
so.
would you have brought it home?
Not unless they brought it to you last year.
Huh.
Have
Oh,
you-
no, this.
Yeah, this is.
Oh,
It's like that one, but it's not mine.
But it's not.
No.
Yeah, it's not the same.
All right.
You done an underground boring.
Yeah, that works pretty good, doesn't it?
I should turn right on. I got you. The one chicken coming in, she gives me 1 each. I gotta get rid of the day. No, she's not in there.
Got some cats.
This is Should I turn the light on?
Sure.
Let me show you the harness. They can't lift anymore.
How you doing?
I'll open up the back door and then old Marty Hebron will come in and want more grain. You probably heard of an adjustable collar? A horse collar? Adjustable? The guy who repairs my harness for me, he lives up in Gilbert, Minnesota, and he makes harness for both them. It was a Disney World and Disney. One's in California, one's in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He makes harness for their horses.
Oh, wow.
I always have mine repaired. When he seen the old collar I was using, he gave me a hit. He made me buy where he sells the stuff, adjustable one. Where the heck is it? Here's the old collar, kind of going the heck a little bit. Little bolts and nuts hold together.
Yeah.
Where the heck's my good one? Oh, here. This here will fit different size necks.
Oh.
The adjustment on it, see?
Yeah.
Yep.
But really, they go to heck from not being used.
Oh yeah.
Same as that harness,
Yeah.
the line and stuff. You get stiff. You're getting
Yeah.
kind of stiff now.
Yeah. Need to
Here's
use.
the work harness here.
Do you use some kind of leather conditioner, huh?
Yeah. Same with the saddles.
Oh yeah.
I got it. I used to wash them with a little light soap and water. I don't know if I let them dry and oil them,
Yep.
but I haven't done that. What else was I going to show you? Yeah, I got this jack stand, and also got the piece that fits on top of the rubber for the horse's hoof.
Yep.
But still, I still use that. The old pipe and disc blade.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm too lazy to take that off and put the other piece on. Yeah.
But you know, in horse camp, we just had a lot of great people, a lot of good times, and of course, Jim, like he said, he'd be on his third breakfast.
I was
by
just going to bring that up.
his
So,
eating, and
so-
you guys fed him a lot.
Jim, you gotta tell us what your mornings were like and your visiting and stuff. Let's go through some food and some menus.
I
here.
remember one particular time I had a big meal with they had shrimp and everything. The one, the puppy meal.
Oh, Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa, and had a full meal. Ate with them. Then Landis, he wanted to go out and eat with him, so I'm down there eating. And they came down and started eating down there with another meal. But, and one guy, he had a real southern draw. He had me come in the morning, he's serving chicken.
Really?
So he wants to know what part of the chicken. I told him I'm a leg man. Well, after I ate all his legs, he's the other part of the chicken. Like I said, chicken. Yeah. But
Legs, breasts, thighs.
Whatever
Everything.
comes his way. And
So how would you do your mornings though? You'd wake up in the morning, and then what was your routine?
first thing I go around and check the horse pen to make sure a horse ain't tangled up or something.
Yep.
I've cut a lot of ropes. I got it. Yeah, the tanks ain't tangled up. And I always kept chains and padlocks on the gates. That was mainly so I know which pen is available for somebody. I don't know if they do it anymore or not. Because we
No.
were jockeying horses around, we never know what's where.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
need them anymore.
don't need them anymore.
And the ones
so-
that would only have like 2 horses in one pen, I tell them if they start fighting deer tonight, don't even come and get me. Put them in any empty pen you can find that ain't locked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our top
And sometimes
priority,
I'll unlock a pen for them just in case.
yeah, our top priority was safety for the horses. People, they'll get fixed up somehow, but we wanted safety with the horses. And
Hey, they pay a lot of money to come out there. Should be able to enjoy themselves. I got it.
Well, I think a lot of the other staff workers
Oh,
in that area were jealous of you two.
Oh.
It-
My
I don't
boss
know.
one time, he came down there chewing me out because we're only supposed to be on 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, while he's chewing me out, a couple rigs pulled in. Let's say 11, 12 o'clock. Martin, what should I do? Make him stay there and wait until I go put on my uniform? Go take care of him. And that son of a gun, he'd see something wrong in the camp. He'd wait till he got out of camp and call me on the radio to go take care of it. Chicken shit.
Oh.
Yeah, done that a lot. What did they call him? Meal? No, what did they call him?
I got small man syndrome.
Yeah. And boy, he done it the wrong guy one time. He's complaining.
He told us many times how much he hated horse campers
Oh, geez.
and horse camper. And I keep saying, we're horse campers. Do you like us? Oh, yeah, I like you. I said, well, we're horse camp. You know, they didn't understand the horse people. They always thought it was so difficult to run. The horse camp, well, if you don't understand horses, for one thing, we just made sure the horses were safe and everything else fell in place. It was, you know, it was easy.
And there's different styles of horse people,
Yeah.
but they all have the horse in their best interest.
Yes.
So they're all the same that way with the care
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, we, you know, connected with that and took care of that. And there just wasn't, we had very few problems with any campers. Very few.
One husband and wife come out there every year, and they just weren't prepared. They were all messed up. One time, well, he used to live in Minnesota, where he made trailers, horse trailers. He moved out to South Dakota. He got a job with customized trailers. So he came out to camp with a slant, 4-horse slant, 3-horse slant, whatever it was. And I hear the commotion going on, so I goes up there. His wife's sitting there crying. He had a rope on the horse's halter, between the front leg, between the hind legs, trying to pull the horse out of the trailer.
The horses had never been in a slant.
Before. He's trying to pull them out backwards.
They'd always been in a stock trailer. You just turned the horses around and let them out. So his horses had no idea.
Yeah, because especially coming backwards, they got to learn to
Yeah.
turn their butt to the left a little bit and come back.
And I showed many people, the horse.
We got the horses
To
out.
get out of the trailer, I said, I showed them, you back them up real slow, and right before you step down, you stop them. And they'll get to know the next step is down, and they stop doing the stomping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our buddy Doyle that couldn't make it here today, he would always back up, and he would never let a horse go out forward.
No, we
matter
did not
what.
either.
You know, even in the big trailers, you wouldn't
Right.
lead them forward.
Right. We
Always
did
go
not.
back. But he didn't stop them, but right before they got to that in the back, because he would say back,
Yep.
back, and then he would change it to big step,
That's the
big
cue.
step.
That's the cue.
And then that was his cue.
Yeah. And I always just used easy, you know, when they got to the back, I say easy, and they knew it.
Yeah. No matter
You
what
know.
the difference is, you just change what you're doing. and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
get used to do it the same way every time.
Right.
And I found out the more people talk about horses, all the stuff they do, they don't know a doggone thing. There's one guy, he's telling me how he works in a feedlot down by Hot Springs, ragging all this stuff on a horse all day, on blah, 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 blah. Well, he kept fooling on. Make a long story short, he didn't even know how to cinch the horse up. His girlfriend came and done it for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
my word.
Yeah. And one year out there, in the beginning of the season, we go to a meeting. And they ask you, why did you come back? Why did you come back? They got to me, she made me come.
Yeah, it was my fault.
Well, and I was going to ask you when you guys were first going into the camp host thing and
Mm-hmm.
talking about it, were you both equally wanting to do it, or was
Yes.
one?
I didn't
wanting
have
to
any
do it more?
choice.
No.
I loved it though. All the food. Oh, I love it.
No,
Oh, yeah, the food.
it was, something we both wanted to do.
And every year
And
they have a new group come out. They get to go to a crazy horse in different places in town, and they feed you.
during
So
orientation.
I knew that this Dee McCarthy, kind of big shot in the park, she's watching me. So I try to get in with the group that, like the first time around, so I get all this free food. See, catch me.
Yeah, she'd catch you all the time. Yeah, and they also told us, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, with the rules, we always were supposed to have our uniform on when we talked to campers. So we had they understood we were in authority.
Right.
I think I wore my uniform during the
picture
Buffalo
taken.
Roundup and for pictures. That was it. I thought if I have to wear a uniform to talk to people, then I'm doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't. I just didn't wear it.
When you guys have made so many friends out there,
Yeah.
well, how many times a day you think they would come out there when we were camping there for that week, or how many times in a week people would come up and start asking us about these guys?
Yeah, a lot.
Isn't that?
One time on the
Well,
radio,
we think about them a lot
what
too.
What was the common theme that they had with Jim? With,
Food. It always shows up right when it's time to eat.
well, you got to make
Wow,
sure.
wonder how that happens.
Throw the bottle gas or something.
But see, that's what we all loved. We loved it that you did that, and man, we've talked around the campfire so many times and bring you up and say, "Where's Horvath? Better get out the Mountain Dew."
Well,
One time I heard on the radio, my boss is at Bluebell. He told me he's going to go on a horse camp. So I goes and puts my uniform on. He comes down there. It's your day off.
We were there. We were in horse camp most 24/7. It's because we wanted to,
Right.
too.
I thought
And
I'd get burned out.
yeah, and our campers came in middle of the day. It's not like another campground where they're sightseeing and they come in late.
Right.
You know, and we wanted to make sure the horses got out of the trailers and got water and got in pens, and so we would be there purposely in the middle of the day. You know,
It's a lot different when you guys were hosts there to now, because I can tell you in the last 3 years how many times a camp host has come and seen us.
Wow.
I bet we can count it on one hand.
wow, isn't that something? Yeah, they just don't get it.
One time I just came back from taking a group out riding, and Kathy told me the lady right next to us, she found some elk sheds. And Kathy said, it's so obvious she's watching. It'll make sure nobody sees her.
When she rode into camp,
So-
she had it in front of her and covered up, and she's just looking around.
I puts on my uniform, goes over there. I don't remember exact words, but I understand you have elk sheds. You aren't supposed to take them out of the park. Oh, don't tell my mother. She knew we'd get caught. She knew we'd get caught. How'd you find out? A satellite. Oh, my God. That's what I told her, satellite.
And she believed him for a while.
I just wanted to keep, at that time, I had a guy coming through checking on the hay. I want to make sure she covered it up so it wouldn't get caught. But yeah.
Right.
Oh, I know you get caught.
We were supposed to report that, but
She fed me more.
yeah, they fed him more. But you know, my idea was it's a renewable resource. An elk or a shed,
Right.
no big deal, you know, and stuff. But yeah, he'd play with a lot of people, and then in one time, well, I'm sure it was more than one time, but he got caught with a dessert he was supposed to bring. He went and he had cherry pie somewhere, and
They're gonna leave early in the morning.
they were leaving early the next morning. They gave him a piece of cherry, and they sent a piece of cherry pie home for me. Well, the next morning, they didn't leave real early. And I happened to be up and by them, and they said, oh, what'd you think of the cherry pie? I look at him. And of course, he's got guilty written, you know, it's in neon lights across his
And
forehead.
cherry all through here.
Yeah, and I'm sure there were other times where I never saw what
So
they
you get
sent
caught once
to
in a
me.
million. What the heck?
Yeah, you know. But that was people. We had one camp. They always brought us loaf of bread when they got out there, and
It's fun having those traditions.
oh, it is. It had a funny. This one just sticks with me so much. We had a couple gals camping and friends. They were friends, and she brought over a dozen eggs. She said, "These are farm fresh eggs, and my friend won't eat them." She said her friend said they came from a chicken's butt. She won't, but she will eat store eggs.
Sorry.
You can go to the store and buy a dozen eggs, she'll eat them. But not these, because they can't. You know, funny little things, you know, you remember. I mean, it was.
And another time, this big group came out. Somehow they double ordered on eggs. They had 144 case.
Dozen.
Yeah, 144 eggs. 2 times.
Oh, man.
So I'm going around camp trying to get eggs
Dozen.
away. Huh?
Dozens.
Oh, 144
Yeah.
dozen?
Dozen.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. They have a big group. Steve
So-
Coke John.
So they gave us all the extra eggs and do what you want. So we were going around camp with everybody. You need eggs, need eggs.
What did we make that night? We made that really big dinner and had you guys over. Do you guys remember? Was that when we doubled up?
Was that when we had that
Ribs.
big ham?
I think it was a big. Oh, I remember what it was. It was a big meal, whatever it was. But Jose brought Bertha, and he was making ribs for the next day. And then we're 3/4 way through the meal, and we just started sampling Jose's ribs. And then they all went away
They
as well. But
didn't have
that
any
was
for the next day.
That was a planned meal with you guys.
Yeah.
You came up to. And we had quite a few people there, but little
Yeah.
things like that we remember around the
Had
campfire.
great times. When you guys were out there, if I wanted Jim, I just knew where to look. 'Cause he'd be his
Well, he'd
Mountain
always bring us
Dew
a
and
can to save cans because you guys would recycle the aluminum,
yep.
and we'd fill up a can or two
Oh, yeah.
in a week. The younger days, we'd fill up 2 cans.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All of our all of the regular campers, when they'd leave, they'd come over and leave a bag of cans for us. They were
Yeah, there's one camper.
everybody.
One camper come in here. I appreciate save the cans for me. Well, her son collects cans. So I told the kid, from that tree to that tree to that tree, that's your territory. Do not go beyond that point for cans. And the first year I was picking cans. She's giving me a hecking on dumpster dipping. Well, I
Dumpster
told Sherry
diving.
about the girl that cleans the bathrooms, so she'd do it for me. She didn't mind.
And she'd do it in other campsites,
they'd bring the cans.
campgrounds too.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of cans to recycle. We'd make 2 or 3 trips to Rapid City every summer
That was something.
with cans.
A real nice looking gal. The way she dressed and that stuff. One day we ran into her in Rapid City with it.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, she's looked like 100% prostitute. The way she dressed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
A lot of makeup and
ordinarily,
heavy, but
couldn't
sweetheart,
believe
yeah.
her.
And at camp, she was cleaning
Oh, she
the
done
bathroom.
modest
Yeah,
then,
very, yeah. No, we met many interesting people and so many friends. And
Now we have a unique camp. You know, we put up
Yes.
the 20 by 20 canopy. It's got walls on half of it. We bring a fridge, cook stove, cots, cook kitchen, all that kind of stuff. Put up the flag, and we've always wondered. I've always wondered. You know, did people ever ask you about us up there? We were pretty loud, also.
Oh,
at
yeah.
certain times. And
Well-
we'd go
They
over the
wouldn't
valley.
ask me.
Did anybody ask you guys about us?
Not,
or
yeah, but you know what they'd ask about?
what?
The number of people. So many people you got to pay extra.
yeah, if you're not all related
Yeah.
and you're not kids,
I'll take care of it.
they would, two adults per campsite, they said.
Okay.
Our supervisor
bunch
would
of
say
baloney.
that. Say, yep, fine, we'll check on it.
And we always rented 2 campsites.
Yeah.
You know.
And they drive through camp pretty much each year and say, well, how many are up there? I said, well, no, they're all fine. It's, we'll check or they're
People just don't
fine.
mind their own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Everybody's happy in horse camp. We had a happy campground. We can say that.
Yeah.
I know several people that'd be camping at like Iron Creek. They'd come over and take a shower. Oh, they wouldn't say nothing.
We're supposed to charge them.
Yeah.
But, as long as it isn't a
Horse camp too.
big, steady,
Right.
Stream of them.
stream. Yeah. But,
I found some of that in the military too, where you had to have like regulations and things written, but there's only a certain amount of that with using good sense that you would actually enforce.
yes.
And there's some of them that are written. I noticed as federal employees, because I'd go to Chamberlain twice a year, meet, and we would management and labor, we would write these things, and it took me a little while to learn. And that was, some stuff dealing with the state too. And some things are just put down just so that something is put down.
Yes.
Some of them they're not really expected to enforce every letter of.
Right.
But to satisfy this group, you got to have these things written down. And that's the way I view that, what you're talking about.
Sure. And, just run it with common sense, and respect for. We had, it went good. We didn't have any problems. Supervisors thought so. One supervisor said there's a way to run campgrounds and there's a Horvath way to run horse camp.
One time they turned their
We
back.
should do a
They had
manual.
double booked about 9 sites,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
and they
Oh,
finally
yeah.
told us, do whatever you can.
Yeah, they just said,
Yeah,
we made a mistake. It's all double booked.
9 rigs.
And they had no idea how to handle it. And they told us, and they said, do the best you can. Well, we got them all taken care of, and we
one
got
group came in
horses
there.
and pens, and
One group came in and arguing, like 2 people on the same site, arguing back and forth. I told them I'm going to come back, and I said, 15, 20 minutes, you can't make up your mind, I'm going to tell you where you're going to go. Well,
Yep.
you came out here to have a good time. Don't
really
fight
very
over pen, and stuff
I got it.
and that. So, but we really enjoyed our time there.
The guy gave me his real. He makes furniture, and it's real fine stuff. It ain't like It's finer than sawdust. And I use it for bedding in this pen here, because this horse here, I hate hay now. He never lays down. And Marty goes there and lays down. And this here real fine stuff, I figure the dust, he sacks out and gets shot, and he might get in his lungs. So I use the regular square bales for that one horse, and this here fine stuff for this guy. He used to give me that stuff just last year. Well, during the winter. Makes furniture. Nice looking furniture. Yeah. Oh, what else? That's it. That's the fan.
Yeah.
You get an air moving there for him.
All right.
Next thing, all the horse and cattle out in that hot sun and no shade.
Mm-hmm.
And we give them a fan.
Old steel.
Back to the military. Some of the stuff I done, if I got caught, it'd probably still be in the slammer.
Yeah.
But you made everything
The only
work,
thing-
and
the only
that's
thing, I got a cold feet on. I went from up to a 5-ton record overseas. 5-ton or 10-ton? I think it's 5-ton. I load these missiles for the B-52 bombers, and they give me a new record. New, you know how it is in the Army. But I'll call it the black market one, that record. They're going to take care of all the paperwork, but I got cold feet on that one. Yeah.
a little big to pass on.
Yeah.
But I remember another time our supervisor came in and he said, "Well, you're not running the camp quite the way we say, but you got a happy campground." And they said, "So we're not." They didn't even bother after a while
much extra
to
money?
even come in to camp.
Yeah.
They just didn't. They just.
Well, if you run it to the T, you're going to run
Oh.
people away.
Oh,
and
we
they
would
won't
have-
come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. And we wanted people to enjoy the area.
Yeah.
Right.
Weren't you taking like something $10,000 extra for just extra pens?
Well, no, the last 2 years we were there. They used to say in the office that horse camp cost them so much money and it wasn't worth it. And they should, eliminate it. At that time, we had extra pens for each site, one extra pen at $5 a night. And I kept track of how much we took in
They couldn't believe
our
it.
6 months. $13,000
Them other people get
at,
$5 at a time.
at $5 at a time. Don't tell me this campground is not making you money.
Right.
One
And then
good-
I found out they put all the extra
Yeah.
ends they put in the general fund.
Should've
So then
stayed
I
in
went,
horse camp.
wait a minute here. That's supposed to be for horse camp use. I said we could use, covers over these pens and stuff. But they finally did get around to that after we left.
Right.
But
Well, they were digging a new well while we were there this year.
good, because that well
Water.
was,
Oh, yeah.
that well would go dry easily.
Oh,
Yeah, if too many people were
Water
using
horses.
water. That's why we said you couldn't bathe a horse there, because
Right.
it could go dry.
okay.
It never went dry while we were there, but
That building in the back behind the shower house, there's 2 big tanks in there. And it took water whenever it could, reserve. Yeah. But they'd go dry.
yeah.
So we were always impressed with the way you knew the trails. And did you know him as well as him?
More.
More? Yep.
His
Hey,
sense,
I've been on trails. I've been on trails you haven't been on.
I know. His sense, well, they weren't trails and you were just going. His sense of direction is, so
Oh, it's
I
tons
would.
better than mine, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
So I found a lot of new buffalo trails. And what?
When I end up on Lexi's neck.
Yeah. We were following a buffalo trail. And we went out Lame Johnny and then cut off. And this
Can't get
trail,
any worse. Can't get any worse.
it looked good. So we got up to the top. And let's go down. Oh, man. I mean, our horses' butts were on the dragging. It was that steep. And we're making it, but it's soft and kind of wants to slide, the dirt and the rocks. all of a sudden he's up on Lexi's neck. He never checks his cinch,
I did too. It was okay. She got sweaty.
and it slid up on her neck. So he
I had to hang on a little tree to go up the saddle.
okay. So he had to get off on the hillside and put the saddle back down. But he did lead her down the rest of the way. But while he's doing all this, Marty's and me are trying not to slide down the hill some more. And we got to the bottom. I said, that's one we won't have to do again. But I did find a lot of new trails, and we did a lot of exploring and stuff. But yeah, I knew all the trails, and he knew them after a bit. After I'd find some, but they were mostly buffalo trails and that we liked.
Yeah.
We were looking at the picture of, the burnout area from the Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And we'd come up, what's that draw that we'd ride all the time to get up to the
Heady draw.
Heady draw. We'd come up Heady draw. And we've always taken pictures overlooking, and she showed me one. I told her, now you can't sit there and overlook all that because the trees have grown up through that area so much.
Kind of miss seeing that.
So it's kind of like, you go up Harney or to the peak up there.
Harney Peak.
Not Harney.
No. Coolidge.
Coolidge, yeah.
And they have the hand drawings on how the land and nature recovers all these decades. Well, now it's been 3 decades since us seeing it the first time and stuff.
Right.
And it's doing it the way they sketched it out. It's kind of cool to see that.
The big tree ride isn't no fun.
Oh, no, that's gone.
The big tree is gone.
Yeah.
One of the guys that works out there, well, I think it was Chad Kramer.
Chad Kramer, yeah.
The buffalo herd manager, he wanted the remains of that tree to cut down and mill some lumber and make something for the park.
Make a desk
out
or
of
something in
it.
the park.
Right?
Bench or something. Park didn't want to do it. And I think that would have been really good.
I think you asked me about it, and I checked with Chad.
Yeah. That would have been a really good thing to do.
Right.
Because people knew the big tree. And say, well, we lost it, but recycled a part of it. But they didn't want to. So, new superintendent out there and that.
Well, see, and the tourists, they want to see a cowboy-looking people riding the trails out there.
Oh, yeah.
They want
You get
to
your
see-
picture taken a lot if you get along the road from tourists.
Well,
One of pictures of the cowboys.
We had several at Bluebell Lodge. I remember that. Getting pictures from people.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are
Even
Legion.
Palmer's got memories of that. What were you going to say there?
Legion Lake, when we go there,
Oh,
a lot of
yes.
families.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're always riding along the beach there to get
Yes.
pop up over the hill on the other side. And see, now we're running out of horses, Kathy. We got guys, but we're running out of horses. But most of the time it works out okay because we'll send a group out, and then the others will pack up the coolers, beers, food, cigars, and meet either a short ride up at the lodge or at Legion Lake or up at the
Lookout.
the lookout or the base of the mount there. So
And then you switch and they.
yep.
I've told people, you guys come out, there are 9 people in one horse. They think you ride the horse to death. I just laugh.
Well, we've been talking about buying one of those plastic horses for years to put in the pen.
Remember that time? Remember that guy that time?
We had a guy pull in to horse camp with a nice trailer, and he said, I can't unload my horses and put them in pens. They're just too mean.
So we can use his pens.
So we could use his pens. He said, do you want to see my horses? 2 fiberglass horses in the
So it's really happened.
So it has happened. So it has happened. So go. So I'd say go for it. But you said you're running out of horses, and of course we've still got 2 horses and a donkey, but it's
I think
my horse is too old to ride. I couldn't get on. I wish I could because riding is good for your back. Really, you feel good.
I got a good
And he's got this horse, but he couldn't get on. I couldn't help him.
I'm going to tell you this one before. This heavy set gal, big heavy set gal, 250, 300 pounds. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, that was.
She's
good
telling
one.
me every couple hours she's got to go out and check the cows and heifers for calves. And I'm thinking
She
back in my
checks
mind,
them, yeah,
the gal that side, how the heck did she get up and down off that horse? So I was supposed to take on Bluebell. The doggone I goofed up and I was heading up Centennial. So I cut down the bank, crossed the creek. She fell off the horse. I
In the
heard her
creek.
commotion in the back. Oh, she's mad, madder than heck. I wonder how the heck is she going to get back on a horse? Well, I better help her. So I figured it's going to be a one-time deal. I give her such a hoof, I almost put her over top of the saddle.
Oh, geez.
Her husband says, how'd you do that? I wasn't fussy where I grabbed her. But she,
And before we left, too, a few years before, we had money given to us. One person had died, and from their funeral, they gave me the money to use in horse camp.
Oh, wow.
So I bought a decoration to go over the doors of the shower house. Not sure if
park,
it's
they
still
didn't want to put
there.
up with it, but maintenance did.
Yeah, the park said, well, I don't know if we can put that up there. I talked to maintenance. He said, sure, I'll do it now. Put it up. And I bought mounting blocks to spread around camp so people could get on
Yep.
rather than standing on picnic tables, which wasn't safe. And then I bought wheelbarrows for around the camp, so make it easier.
Yeah, all the things that we see out there, these guys have made
Those
happen.
aluminum picnic tables, you get on the end of them, they'll tip right up on you.
Oh, yeah.
They will. Boy,
Oh, we
Yeah,
know
that's
that.
why.
and they're so
That's why the
shiny.
mounting blocks.
We find out
Yeah.
the hard way.
Yeah, so
The camp kitchen would almost tip.
Yeah, we set the cook kitchen on there, but we always slide her back way. But then somebody will usually push on the end, and then we'll start putting all our Coke and liquor bottles on the end, and that'll weight her down a little bit.
yeah.
And her food and everything else.
But we tried to fill in where we could when we had the chance to make it easier and better for people.
Even guys
and
start using them. I see men use them. You know, what the
the
heck?
mounting block. Oh yeah, it's easier. It's easier on the horse. If you have to hang on the side to get up, might as well use that.
And I've had people thank me for wearing a helmet because their kids come out there, they want to be the cowboy.
Yeah.
You see the camp host. I've had a couple of bad head injuries, not with horses, just bad head injuries. My doctor insists I wear a helmet, so I told him I would, so I wore the helmet.
Yeah. So they see the camp host wearing a helmet, then the kids don't feel
Right.
so.
So did you have any head injuries from the Army?
No.
Or was that...
No, I had,
Because I
had
think
a-
you've mentioned head injuries a couple times, but was that at work at the tool and die, or the die?
See, the first one
diamond,
was
or-
I was having the
First
other farm
one-
up here.
Yeah.
I was having a fence line made. And I went in there a couple weeks ahead of time, took all the old barbed wire. And a big S-man, 100 feet tall. And he'd take the D8, raise the blade up and push the tree part way and then back up and get on the roots. Well, by God, I seen a hunk of wire that I missed. He didn't see me. I went in to get it. She's like, I got hit with a branch.
I saw two big birch trees
Oh, birch trees?
heading his way.
Oh, geez.
And one landed about a foot on one side, and the other one about 2 feet on the other side. But a big branch got him right down the center, and he made him do a somersault
I
right in
know.
the air. And
Man.
and I thought, well, that's going to need stitches. So I'm taking him out of the woods, and all the way out, he's going, "What happened?" I'd say, "A tree fell on you." "Oh, what happened?"
They usually ask about 30 to 50 times.
Oh, yeah, all the way out there. So, and just before we got to the hospital, then he thought he had to throw up. And I thought, oh,
Oh,
brother.
man. It's a bad sign.
Not good. But he had
Classic
lost his
concussion.
memory for a few months back. But he got his memory back except for about 3 days with that head injury. And then,
Tell them about the nurses.
well, you're making passes at all the nurses
Didn't remember
when
that.
they were wheeling him in the hospital.
doctor
That's what a concussion will do to you,
Yeah,
right?
and the doctor says, "That is normal behavior." I said, "No."
Is that
not
why you've
really."
had so many of them?
Yeah. Hey, good question. Yeah. And the last one he's in the back of our truck, and it's a 1-ton dually, so it's not low to the
The
ground.
one the angel drives?
Yes. That one. Yes.
The angel in the dually?
The angel and the dually.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got feed on pellets in the back of the truck. And he's up there trying to walk on these pellets,
And a cardboard over top.
which
of it.
isn't good. And when your feet turn out, they kind of fit down in the between.
geez.
Yeah. So he takes a tumble out of the back of the truck onto the cement on his head. And I don't know how long he was out.
And wasn't that wasn't that long ago, was
No,
it?
that's a couple of years ago.
No, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Did that mess with your shoulder, too?
You got
Did
the
that
shoulder,
aggravate?
the shoulder and the head The shoulder, the head, and the neck.
Well, the shoulder is just from hard work.
Okay.
And he had rotator cuff surgery, and it didn't help. So he's had 2 reverse shoulder replacements because he didn't have the muscle or the rotator cuff to hold anything in place. So they reverse it, and they put the ball that's normally on the top of the arm bone, they screw that into the shoulder blade and hook it up. It's
Really?
backwards.
Huh.
That's
Wow.
because he didn't have the muscle to do it the right way. And that's just from a lot of hard work, throwing bales, all that. I mean, just,
Oh, man.
you know.
Hey, did I get knocked out in that cave-in? I don't remember.
No.
Oh.
You weren't out.
Cave-in.
I was there. Oh, we are having a ditch dug, and he's down in the ditch.
Well, that dirt hit you. You came.
It went up to his chest a bit, and it did collapse one lung.
Yeah.
So he's an accident looking for a place to happen sometimes.
It's a good way to die. You don't remember nothing. I don't remember
Yep.
leaving the truck. I just woke up. Well,
Yeah.
fine. Oh, you want to see the hay shed? Oh, I got a lawnmower there. Oh, you got to stick with my. Nobody bothers me when I'm in here. It's just a one-hole rule.
That's a big one.
There she is. Yeah, a doggone horse nest. They were behind us here at wall. I was going to stand there, to try to see where they're going to go in at, and I never seen them. They just kept buzzing on me. So I took that wash tray off there and looked underneath it. There's a big nest. Took an ice cream pail and put on a pair of leather gloves and took that sucker and jammed the pail and put the lid on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Pretty fancy outhouse.
Good plumbing.
Always clutches, doesn't
The son of a gun now, it's settled, but it's also tipped back. Because I got a tank underneath there. It's missing the tank.
Oh,
Yeah. See how the post there in the corner
Yep.
is tipping?
yep.
I think it's under one of the forklifts.
Right.
I don't know what I want to use it.
Do you remember the time when you fell in the snow out here and you couldn't get up, and then Kathy come out looking at you with her walker, and she talks you out of how
Yeah.
to get out? What did you tell? Do you remember what you told me about
I don't remember.
during that about dying? Well, you only got to die once. And then you started laughing. That's all the emotion you had about that
Yeah,
situation.
that was.
No, what did I say?
You're only going to die once.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you started laughing.
Well, it ended up we're doing a funny picture because I'm in the house and I see him in the ditch and I see him
Carhartt
moving.
coveralls.
And I thought, just watch it, but it's okay. Then I see him trying to wave down a car. Oh, man. And I thought, uh-oh, something's wrong. So me and my walker go down the driveway
Like a driveway plow.
to get him out of the ditch. And I thought, yeah, I'm in my walker. He can't get out of the ditch. We make quite a pair.
And that's a little longer driveway than was
By
described to me.
mailbox.
Yeah. It's down the driveway, just up a little bit. So I taught him how to get to a steel post because he couldn't get himself up. To get on his knees, pull yourself up. So, and then he had this long saw blade, for branches on a tree. So I chucked that into my walker and my arm, and I extended that so he could grab onto that and use that to get out.
Man.
I got so
And
doggone
so-
sweaty, I thought my fingers were going to freeze if I passed out because I was working so hard.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I went over, the snowplow, the hard ridge. I got off the hard ridge and stepped next soft snow, and down I went. It was deep. Yeah, I couldn't get up.
And that really finished off the shoulders pretty good.
Yeah.
when that happened. But I thought, what a picture. Me and my walker trying to get him out of the ditch.
You guys remember the story he was telling me when he was getting what the nurses were coming here and they're helping you with your shoulder. I don't know
Yeah,
what else,
physical
but
therapy.
bathing and all this kind of stuff. You guys remember what he's talking about? Those two young girls that were coming here and bathing. Well, because we talk on the phone quite a bit, so sometimes I don't.
Oh, was that on the?
Tell it. Yeah. What do
Diana?
you tell us about what you remember about these young girls coming to help you and bathe?
The
you?
girl that came to give me a shower and that stuff. I used to date her. Anyhow, we go. Her name is Diana.
I didn't remember that
Yeah,
part.
I know.
we went in the bathroom back here, and Kathy's out here in the bedroom part. I shuts the door, winks at Diane. She says, "You haven't changed a damn bit, have you?"
The thing I
So
remember is he was talking about. He told me these young girls were coming here and
Yeah.
doing all this
Yeah.
stuff.
And
Then
he
the
used to
phone
do-
call 3 weeks later, he's like, "Yeah, you remember those girls that were coming to my house bathing me?" He says, "They're 70 years old." He goes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we're envisioning like these 20 something.
Yeah, right. They were-
young girls, and they're like,
Diana, yeah, she's
I ran her a couple times to the grocery store.
70, yeah. Something to have the gal that used to date help bathing you, helping you get in and out of the shower. That's what,
I had totally forgotten.
Happy
about
days
that.
are here again.
And one time we were on a paint horse ride out in Nebraska at Crawford. What's the name of the fort there?
Fort Robinson.
Fort Robinson.
Oh yeah.
And Jim said to me, he said, all these people here on the
Yeah, they're
porch,
so old.
they look so old. They're older than us. And I said, have you looked in a mirror lately? They were all our age.
Yeah.
Everybody's,
What's the deal on being bull-legged? One woman said it was bull-legged or something. How was it? Do you remember
yeah,
that?
you're bull-legged.
Yeah, well, she said something about, the next year went back.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Kathy, I'm going to find that blank woman that says it's bull-legged. And
Yeah,
she's standing
she
there
said-
talking to Kathy, it's me.
Yeah, they were coming. He's bow-legged.
Then, being it's Paint Horse Association. So, being her, she takes my horse. Lexi's supposed to be paint, see? And I took her horse.
was-
Well,
she was a
Lexi,
red-
tell her what happened. I thought we were laughing too hard.
Well, it was hot, super hot and dry. So you couldn't sweat, and there was wind, so it just dried the sweat right off. Horses were hot. Lexi's only 3 years old, just getting going. And she decides she needs to plop on the ground. I'm on her. So I feel the knees buckling out there. Okay. I go to kick my feet out of the stirrups, and all of a sudden we're on the ground. I mean, she just
Flop.
dropped. Well, my leg is under her a little bit, and everybody comes running. They thought she was going to start rolling. Well, luckily she didn't. She just laid there. Dragged my foot out from under her. She broke my big toe.
Oh wow.
Walked around to her butt and kicked her as hard as I could with my good foot. She jumped right up. Never did that again.
And this
But-
Lexi, that was like your
That-
favorite horse
yeah.
of all
They
time.
quote, I was supposed to act,
Yes.
sad or something. I was laughing so damn hard I couldn't help her.
And then a little bit farther on, I told Jim, I said, we're switching horses. He had a horse that was, it was a good cow horse.
Was it Buck?
A little hot, yeah. A little hot, but
You
really
know,
good.
you know how to push the buttons.
Yeah. Anyway, I said, I'm taking Buck. He said, why? I said, don't ask, just... I was starting to go with heat exhaustion, so I wasn't. But I rode Buck the rest of the time. We got into our lunch break, and I go out pretty much with the heat exhaustion. So they're sitting me up, and they're ice cubes all around on me, and
Tell them about
One-
Mark Martin.
one lady is pouring water down the back of my head. And she said, I don't know what's what we do with a horse. I said, well, it feels good. And they finally got me up and sat me on a milk carton. And then one of the head guys of the ride, he says, Do you think I could get my foot out from under the milk carton? Oh yeah. So anyway, I got to ride back to the rooms in an air conditioned truck. They had me sitting there. One lady went out on the ride. They had to get her, and there were 2 other people in the air conditioned truck with me that were close to going out because it was so
They made
hot.
several trips for horses.
Yeah, that had to go back. Yeah,
The head of it, he did not realize that it was that hot when he went out riding.
Yeah, they said we shouldn't have gone on that ride. That was so much in the open.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever ridden in Fort Robinson.
We were there once. Our second year on the guy trip, we went down there. But we got in at night, and we didn't really look around. But we slept outside. We unloaded very little. And then we woke up, and then we realized there was people all over, and there was going to be a huge ride that weekend. We're like, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
So we found a spot southeast of Chadron, and we just roughed it out there.
Okay.
We had heard a bunch of longhorns in a Chattern. Oh, Crawford, and they pick out the ones they wanted. And
Yeah,
bring
we
them
took
back.
in a bunch of longhorns, and it was interesting riding. Not like the Black Hills at all, really. Lots in the open. There's so much history there, and the museum and the buildings, and we were in the horses were stalled in their horse barns, their old horse barns.
My neighbor likes going there now a lot more than at the hills because it's less rocky, a little bit
It
more
is,
open. And
yes.
he's done with the Rocky.
The Rockies.
And, he's a little ways older than me, too,
Yeah.
so.
And I can sure understand that because, at Custer, it's rocky. I mean, that's it. And down there, it's more sand and stuff.
Right.
But the history of the park and what they've got there.
Calvary, they had horseshoes for the guys that hinged. Different size horses, they hinged
You ever see that?
at the top.
They could quickly replace a shoe on any horse.
Oh.
And they could adjust it with this.
Huh, that's wild.
And like in the shop where they repair harness and halters, it's just like a guy went home at night with part of the job done, going to come back next day to finish it.
Everything's
Oh,
sitting
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
Really neat.
Very,
A lot of history
It was
there.
interesting, but not like the hills.
Yeah, there's only 2 times we weren't at French Creek. There was that time, and one time we went to Willow Creek. It was the second trip and the 4th trip.
Okay.
I can't remember which.
Willow Creek
route went, but
is not much of a place to stay. Iron Creek, have you been to that camp?
we've driven to there.
That's
yeah.
looks nicer.
I think Willow Creek, we rode Harney Peak on that.
Okay.
That's what stood out for that one for me.
Yeah, we rode out from Iron Creek to up to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Done that.
That's back when we still just had a couple tents. We didn't have our
Didn't have
fabulous campsite.
Didn't have the luxury you have now. I love your campsite when you set it up. It's just great.
Yeah. Jim, what's your favorite trails to ride out there?
Heady Draw. I mean, no. Over to Coolidge.
Yeah,
What's the name of that creek? Oh, it slipped my mind now.
he loves that ride over to Coolidge store.
Yeah.
That's a long ride.
Yeah.
Doggone it. That's
There's
my mind.
one you've mentioned before is Parker Canyon.
Parker
Or
Canyon.
you were going to show us that, or maybe I didn't know. Maybe not one of your
At
favorites.
Parker Canyon, I go across the back end of that, and there's one narrow strip in there. It's quite a distance. And I used to be concerned the buffalo used it. But if the buffalo are coming up and you're going down, there ain't no place for you to go. But all the time, I've seen, would have been in there ahead of me, but never ran into problems to meet them. That's pretty. What's the name of that?
off
Flint Creek?
some of the main trails and take off, get back a little bit from.
What do you mean, Flint Creek?
No.
There's a
devil.
something there with the name of Flint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That isn't it.
I
That's
should have
real
brought
pretty.
one of the maps.
Galena.
I should have brought one of the trail maps.
Galena.
Yeah, Galena Creek. Yeah, Galena. Yeah, that's pretty.
It's a pretty ride. It's a long ride. It's long.
One of the so you came out with this 2016, 17, and 18 was those 3. So your last year maybe was 2015 or 14, but
Yeah,
we
I
don't
think
remember
15,
if
but-
we might have invited you the very next year when you guys told us you weren't coming back. But I remember you took us up where we were overlooking. We're sitting on this rocky area overlooking the
Forward.
CSP road to come in.
Yeah.
I don't remember. We were like you head
Oh.
up towards
That's before Fisherman Flats.
Fisherman Flat, and then
Yeah,
you take a
and then-
right and
yep.
go off
Yeah.
road. Yeah, that was a good place to sit.
Yeah,
Sit there.
sit in the rocks and we'll look down on
Yeah.
the road.
So Jim, you remember what movie you showed us that one night
Yeah. It was Last of the Dogmen.
with the whole camp that came?
Oh wait, no.
You guys
Well, I
scheduled something.
started a program there that
Oh, that deal,
they
okay.
didn't have about some of the history
Yeah.
in horse camp, and they would do that. Put a sheet up on the side of the shower
They're
house.
kind of against
Okay.
that too, the Jokers.
They were against that too.
I was thinking
got
it was a movie, but it was
I
a
got
presentation.
yeah. I got that. They agreed to let me do it, but
I kind of remember that.
Because we went down by the shower
Yep.
house. Didn't we?
Yep.
You remember what all else?
you know, he
went on
talked
there?
about a little bit of history and that gravestone that's up in the pine trees across from where you camp.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the story on that?
That's the guy that had bought that area of land where horse camp is and a little more. And
Wait, some kind of a general or something too?
yeah, he was in the Civil War, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, Jim, did you ever show him that fireplace that's left on the side of the hill?
I don't know if I did or not.
Yeah, we found that. And an old fireplace you can see off the trail on the side of a hill.
Yeah.
Maybe a miner or trapper, who knows? Mm-hmm. But I always thought it would be interesting to let people know a little bit of the history in the
Right.
area. So,
Hey, Paul, could you grab that book over by that center camera for me, please?
you know, all the other campgrounds, they had a program at night. You know, you'd usually go down to a area and they'd have a presentation.
Uh-huh.
And we never did. So I thought, well, let's see if I can fix that.
There you go. Well, this is something I just finished reading. It's called Bad Boys of the Black Hills. And Lame Johnny's in here.
He is.
Yep, Lame Johnny is in there. And when I've had it for quite a few years, and when you just like grab a person's name and start reading, you know, you're not getting quite as much of the whole story there. But then, because I read the Lame Johnny story to you guys that when we were sitting there in camp, I don't know if you liked that or not, but I did. I don't know if you were there or not, Paul.
I don't remember that one.
But you take this and you start reading from the beginning, and then all the stories kind of mesh with the different, the different characters. But there's a book for you guys to be getting into.
Oh, that'll be.
Bad Boys
Yeah.
of the Black Hills, and some wild
And
women
some
too.
wild
it
women
says.
too. There were some women, yeah, around. Great. That'll be great reading.
There's a water hole in Birch Street on the other side of the water hole in cattle. That's all kind of close in the trees. I want to get a hold of the guy that owns it and see if he'll let me cut the trees around the water hole because the geese and ducks, they won't put anymore. The trees going. So for sure, taking off the landing. So you cut down. This building here used to be a square bales. Yeah. And I went to round bales a little bit. But in the fall year, I started a door on the other side. I'd start taking the bales out of here. So I the walls up with square bales. So there were little camps. Wintertime, we used to camp in January and February. They go in there. What's here to see? I don't know. A little black cat.
Yeah. Old deer hide hanging up there.
Oh, yeah. One more. Otherwise, This is a hay shed.
Yeah.
Used to get almost, it's only 4,700 squares in here. And the rest I'd stack outside.
Yeah.
I used to make, one year I did hit 12,000 squares. Usually 11,000 something square bales.
That's a lot of squares.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why he got worn out. Yeah, he put him at the zero because he bailed and brought the load over that next morning, if I remember right. I want to put a space between them so they breathe, you know.
Right.
It goes over the sweat. Yeah. There should be good hay this year for the horses.
That's a lot of hay for horses.
Yeah, it is. Bale too. I don't know how many of these last year, probably 14 or 16. Like I told you previously, you take them off the field and sit there all summer, be a lot of rot in that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd the part that was on the ground, I'd take the chainsaw and cut on both sides, take that off, and I'd peel the outside off before I gave it to the horses.
Yeah.
So I might have extra hay this year because it don't go through the rot that it did.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when'd you put this up?
He put this up in first part of July.
Okay.
Yeah. First part of July. Hey, he called me up, wanted to come look at it. Good, so he bailed up and brought it over. Hey, did I ever tell you a story about that guy? It was a Hill City, 7 foot tall, 7 foot 2 inches tall.
Keystone.
Keystone. Never
He
tell
was
you a
using
story.
Keystone.
He goes around the street cracking a
7
big
feet,
mold.
2 inches.
Oh, yes. Something bad happened. Tell us about it.
No,
Or is this something different?
I walked up to him one day, he was in the street, and I said, you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. He looks down at me, smile. The smaller they are, the further they fly.
Further they
So
fly.
he ended up giving us free tickets. Then you go into to see
They
the show.
put on a little skit in Ruby House. The
Gunfight,
saloon part.
and he had everybody sitting down. He said, "When I clap, everybody claps. When I go boo, everybody goes boo." Well, pretty soon the sheriff comes out. And he clapped. Everybody clapped,
Yeah.
but me, I didn't. I didn't see the guy walk up to me, big guy. Why didn't you clap? I'm Union.
They broke up. They couldn't get the rest of the skit out. They broke up.
Poor old
Both the
sheriff.
guys.
Poor
They
old sheriff.
just.
Yeah. I heard they're using it in the script.
Yeah, they put it in there.
She said that sheriff was laughing so hard he just lost it.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
The sheriff, he played in that movie Iron Will. The one who stuck to the dog sled. You
Yeah,
heard
did
of
you
Iron
ever
Will?
watch
Yeah.
Iron Will?
Yeah.
I
That-
haven't yet.
A lot of that was filmed in Carrick,
Yeah.
and then some in Duluth.
Cover up all the bottle gas tanks with wood piles,
Yeah.
snow.
When I was
Yeah.
driving to work, sometimes I had to wait out in an area in the roads because they were filming. They
Yeah, on
didn't,
the road.
didn't need a car in it. So,
That's the only, man, I come home for they had big tent set up for feeding the people. I never ate there.
no, you didn't. You wanted to.
I don't know if I believe
Too
that.
many to go home and feed the cows. Yeah, quite
No,
a,
we wanted to. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that was fun.
You also took a long walk with some of the guys during one of those trips that you came out. You remember doing a big old climb?
The big old line.
A climb up
Oh, yeah.
that cliff?
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
about that.
Did you get on? Oh,
I stayed down below. I was maybe gonna try to take a picture of you guys up there, but it was too far.
Well, I know one time I remember this guy, he went kind of a heavy set guy. He got all the way up the top. He said he just laid down, breathing real hard. He started back down. I said, well, didn't your buddies tell you on the other side of the stairs are going up? Steps going up there. That's what I told him. Was I doing something different?
Nope. This is Doyle, the guy that couldn't make it here today.
Yeah.
In our group, he's the first one that had a horse pass away.
Okay.
And the horse is named Doc. So we made a wood burn sign for him,
Yep.
and all that, and presented it. And then I suppose a year or two later, his son came out, but then carved a cross. and he climbed all the way up there and put a cross up there for Doc.
Okay.
So every once in a while, people will climb up there and look over the camp.
Yes.
And just sit in the breeze and go visit the cross. And you went up there with the group. It was a pretty good sized group.
Yeah,
I don't know. Were you on that? Paul?
Yep.
I was.
How many people you think went up top there?
I know Kelly was with us.
I was
Palmer probably.
probably. I bet there
Jammer.
was 7, 8 of us.
Yeah.
That's quite a climb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hike.
You did. Well,
Jose
Jim,
was with.
if Jim took you, he took you around to
Yep.
use
Yep.
The far
old
side.
Yep.
far side.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a
No
little
steps,
easier.
though, huh?
Nah, the steps are really hidden. Yeah.
Did you say you went there last year? The thing I'm getting at, there ain't no it's bad. You can't take a horse up there no more.
Oh, really?
It's all grown up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all grown up.
Yeah, I know some of the guys have walked up around there.
Yeah.
Paul, can you go behind that camera now, please? We'll just use you and abuse you here. There's something on the floor down there.
Yeah, for last several years you couldn't even, last several years out there you couldn't even get to the horse. It was so thick,
Yeah.
overgrown. Oh no.
That's the stick you used.
You used this stick
Oh, I
to
don't.
climb that
And,
Oh, I don't. I'll be
and
darned.
then
there.
Jim's
Could
had-
that be the year I got hurt? I come off the horse.
No.
No?
Nope.
But Rex will tell you there.
Yeah, that's the actual stick that you used, and we scarfed it from you, and we put everybody's brand on there.
Oh man.
We've had that for a lot of years. Well, if that was the last year, we've had that since 2018 then.
Oh wow. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So we're hoping you
That's
don't need this to walk very soon, but
Well-
you've got a stick to use now.
According to the doctor, I should have been using it.
yeah,
couple
you're
years
supposed
ago.
to be using
Oh,
it all.
thank-
That's a special stick. That's neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. Wow.
Yeah, we talk about those times. Every time we have guys in the hog house, we always talk about times like this and you guys and
We had
all
a
that.
lot of good times. A lot of good times.
They were surprised at one time. I had that little tool burning my brand in the box.
Yes.
And I happened to tell you I got my branding iron with. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big brand.
Yeah, they did a bit.
So on the side of the cook kitchen, just to explain to people that see this thing, we've got a bottom half and a top half of the cook kitchen. So you open it up, it's like the back of a chuck wagon. And so on the bottom side, on the left side, we've burned the name of every horse that's been out there, and then hash marks for every time there's a
Yeah.
trip. And then if they get retired, we put an R there, and then when the horse passes, we put the IP. And boy, I don't know how many horses. Well, it's about this tall, and the letter's about like this, and the whole left side is done, and it's halfway down the second for the number of horses that have been out there. And then on the top part, we all just started wood burning our brand. So that's what, Jim, you were talking about. First, you put your JK on there, and then you brought the branding iron the next year. So you branded
Yeah.
fully with
Yeah.
that. So that's the story behind that.
I had the brand iron the same year. I did. I went down and got it.
It was the
Yeah,
same year,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you went down to get
Yeah.
it. And,
Now, whose brand is what here now? Or do you remember?
yeah, here we're gonna.
See if we can figure it out.
Yeah, now we're gonna be on the spot.
I
MPJ, Matthew P. Jameson, and then JB being me,
Yeah.
and then the S laying on its side here. That's Stanger,
Oh, okay.
Doyle Stanger.
And that's
then-
his initials.
Actually, this is
Oh.
it's. You would think it is,
Yeah.
but it's Dave Steensma
Ah,
with the bar on the top.
okay.
And then there's a J and an A and an M. So that's Jose Angel Molina. So he's the veterinarian that's from Venezuela. And then yours,
Yep.
the Paul Haish with the backwards P there,
Okay.
and then yours,
Yep.
Where's
Rex
that? Mine
Stark.
down there?
RS Rex Stark.
The circle and the bar.
Oh, there.
Yep, right there. And
Palmer.
yep, JP Jerry Palmer. And I think that's the Cody Stanger with the backwards C and the S in the middle. I think. Or it's not a C, is it?
Oh, could be.
That's what I was thinking. Is that my son Corey?
Corey Stark.
Maybe.
And then Kelly Haish.
That'd be my youngest boy.
Ah,
And then Corey Haish.
That'd be my older boy.
Yep.
wow.
Who's that heavyset kid comes out there once in a while? I think just.
That would have been Corey.
Yeah, my son.
Okay.
He made me a grandpa here a year and a half ago.
Hey, congratulations. Boy or girl?
Boy,
Oh, what's his name?
Hayden.
Hayden, I like that.
You bet. You guys recognize that one? Because we've had some young folks that have come out that's only been there time or two.
Ethan? Is that Ethan's? No.
Ethan
Murtha?
Yeah, Ethan Murtha. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Your nephew.
Yep. Sideways M.
Yep.
Yep. And then a K and an A and an S. Not sure.
Somebody out there anyhow.
And there's Aaron Alexander, young guy. And there's an M,
That maybe Bubba.
Bubba.
The Rockin' M.
Yep, Chuck Murtha.
Yeah, that.
So that's the only one we haven't
Wow.
figured out then, I think. Yeah, if that person watches this, they're probably going to kick our butt. Well, you don't remember me?
That is a
We'll
memorable
figure it out.
stick.
And that's why I have
Oh,
that.
wow. The actual stick you used with all their brands, that's special.
I'll show you Dr. Christensen. He hates horses. When he's going to school, one of the students got kicked in the face with a horse,
Oh, man.
and he hates horses. Horses and bulls. Bulls, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, so you can modify it however you need.
No,
the
no,
years.
we don't
No,
modify.
you
If I modify it, I'll have a rubber plug on the end.
Or maybe you have to put something non-slip down
that's-
here
yeah,
or something.
that's
You
all.
know?
That'd be the most we
That's the only
do.
That's
modification
the
I'll
plug
do
you're
with it.
talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that is so neat.
Almost like the picture
Thank
you
you
gave me.
guys for
Yeah.
doing that for Jim. That's,
Oh, you bet. Yeah.
that is great. Yeah.
And all that brush out there you see, yeah, that's all hayfield. And look over here, it's growing up over here too.
Yeah.
But it ain't mine no more, so. Probably 50 years from now, they'll work it, well, probably put condos in there or something, I don't know. I was telling one of you guys, I know a guy, he cleared land for me, he's got a rotary mower from the Bobcat.
Yeah.
He cut brush for me. I told one of our deer hunters about it. Cause I went out and looked by his deer shack. He can't even get a good shot because of all that brush. But it's up to him. I told him I talked to the guy about it, but he did not pursue it. But, yeah.
Nice place you have here.
Yeah. Used to be 235 acres. Many years ago, the government paid X number of acres for fertilizer and that stuff. They had to do now 10 acres. You got 10 acres or more, you get agricultural benefits, cheaper taxes.
Right. You don't have your horse trailer no more?
No, sold that maybe 3 years ago. I used to sit there with a old John Deere sitting in the international tractor.
Yeah.
He used to sit in there now.
Okay.
Yeah. And right now, I think last time I rode it with you guys, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
Do you still use that wood burner? That
No,
outdoor
no,
one?
no, that's it's once in the spring I take all the ashes out and I go inside and put them in crankcase oil.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet it had been 12 years ago. I went a little wet spot on the bottom. wrestling too.
Oh, okay.
Well, they do have guys that go around and cut the bottom part out and install it. I never liked that stove. I like the heat. You put your butt up to it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
I really did. And I didn't find that out until I had that son of a gun put in. Oh, I heated wood before, in the house.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely afraid of that. I don't know. Worry ward.
You burn wood in the house now?
No,
No.
gas. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many people that come up and ask about you guys. So what I'm going to do, Jim, is before the riding season this year, is I'm going to make some kind of poster telling people how to get to this video. And so
Okay.
all these people that ask us about you guys, hopefully, because we usually go the end of July. We're going beginning of August this next year. So there's a lot of riding going on before we get there. So I want that poster or two sitting there. And I'm going to have to talk to somebody probably to get authorization because I don't want them to see it and tear it down.
Right.
I want people to be able to see this. 'Cause,
One time out in camp, I took some people up to, what do they call it, back there over by the airport. Up on that tall hill. Look out and see
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Anyhow, I took some people over there, and by God, her old man took a picture of her kissing me. So they made a whole bunch of big posters, hung them up in the bathroom. Don't trust two-timer Jim.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff like that. They hung up in bathrooms. They're supposed to tear all this stuff down to clean people. They left it up.
Cleaning people's on liked it, left it.
I can't think of something the same. Two-timer Jim and don't leave your girl in camp alone.
One
or
time
something.
the game warden actually out put a sign on our site first that said, "Don't feed the host."
I showed it to him.
Yeah, or "Do not feed the host."
Yep, we've
and
got
then
that
he
on
did
video.
and then he did another one and put it over by the girls' camp on a trail that the park said is
Not supposed to use
finished.
it.
Don't use it. Well, we did because it was the best way, the shortest way over there. And so he saw that there were a bunch of horses over at the Coolidge store from that. And so he called me. He said, "Is Jim on that ride?" I said, "Yes." So he went and put that other sign up about Jim not to use that road, and this means you.
CSP law enforcement.
Yeah, CSP law enforcement. Yeah, they had a lot of fun with us too. I mean, it's a lot of good people.
Do you guys have any memories of either of these two or both?
We haven't talked about his birthday.
We have not, have we?
That was the first time I think I met you people. And it was awesome because it was cold.
My birthday.
Yeah.
What did we do for you? What did we bring you?
That cake. Got a picture.
Yeah,
of it. Maybe you didn't see a picture.
Made
Yeah.
it chocolate cake, and you did that over the fire,
Yeah.
didn't you? You baked it.
They think because they were cold. I think because they just liked me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
And they came over and brought the cake over, and everybody came inside, crowded inside, and sang happy birthday to Jim.
How many times did we sing happy birthday just to stay in there?
Yeah, a few extra times. For a few extra times.
One more verse. We started making up verses.
Yeah.
Oh, you almost had, yeah.
There's a girl down in Hinckley that she got married on the same day as my birthday. We had a get together at the casino. And the guy next to me said, "Jim, they're calling you. They're calling me." I went in front to see what's going on. Well, how many people are hunting? Some people
Yeah.
singing happy birthday to me.
Nice.
No, who has a big crowd like that for her birthday? It's really for her wedding. I just twist the story up a little bit.
Yep.
But she wanted to comment it was your birthday also, so.
Yeah, because we were there. That's the latest we've ever been there because it was obviously in the middle of September. And a lot of the horse people were gone. And like an elk hunter was camping right across from us. And Jose, being from Venezuela, and he and Dave were were cooking like twice baked potatoes or something. I seem to remember. And Jose, you know, had those oven mitts on, you know, like helping with the cake. Well, Jose didn't want to take those mitts off at all. He just kept those mitts
They
on.
were warm.
And then we went over there and we sang. And then we're like, well, show us your hay pile in the back of your trailer. So, because we knew it was time to get out of your camper. So we went and looked at your hay because at least we were out of the wind. And
Yep.
we were talking even more there. And then I do remember when we were gone, we had those old 70s style lawn chairs, you know, with the just aluminum frame and the webbing. Well, one of those of ours blew into the fire while we were at your camp.
Oh no!
So we got. I had a picture in the hog house for years of Rex holding up that, and we took a picture of him like a framed picture and stuff.
Oh my goodness!
These things we're talking about. There's so many things we haven't even touched on.
Oh, I know it.
But we talk about these things every year.
Isn't that great?
Out in
Well,
horse
we miss being out there, especially with you guys. We look forward to you guys coming all the time. We got caught in a blizzard out there one time. Bad blizzard where a lot of cattle were killed and horses.
Yeah, one
Remember
woman
that?
said they only
Remember
lost.
that.
Yeah.
She said that we only lost 2 freezers of meat and 150 head of cattle.
Well,
Only.
shortly after that, a lot of those ranchers committed suicide.
Yeah,
Oof, yeah.
Well, they
That
got-
was
'Cause
a
they-
lifelong
Yeah, they
building
lost
up
it.
their
Your breeding program is shot.
Lost it
Yeah.
all. We were without power for 3 days.
Before our radio gave out, I called
Down
the park
there.
office and told them our power's going on the radio. Do not worry about us. I had that joker up a Bluebell
Oh,
City guy or Southern State.
Southern State. He called what 911.
Yeah, so they had to come. So they finally,
You know, because he was snowed in. What a big deal.
Kevin, the law enforcement guy, he finally got a snowmobile running. By law, they got to go check it out.
When you get a 911
Yeah,
call
no
for
bother.
help.
Yeah.
But we had one camper in there, and they were from Arizona, I think, and he had a generator. So once a day he'd run a cord over to ours and charge up our battery. So we stayed warm,
Yep.
you know, and that we managed.
But did he run it after, what is it, 9 or 10 o'clock? Because that's
Shut off time. That used to be interesting. That was so nice when we got
That's
power.
another story I can tell you.
Yeah. What's that, Jim?
These 2 old guys pulled in with a horse trailer late at night, cranked up the generator. Well, I had informed them they had to shut it off. It's so cotton picking hot in their trailer. I said, gotta shut it off, gotta shut it off. Well, come on and have a drink with us. So I goes in there, hollering a pistol, sweat just running off me. I said, God, I just love this heat, and I walked out.
And they had to turn the generator off and not have
I
it.
just love this heat.
Yeah, now it's got electric through the whole works.
Yeah, that was a really nice luxury when
Were
they
you
put that
guys
in.
part of putting that in
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah. I've
Requesting
had,
it?
that's something too, though. They, supposedly the power company came out and marked where the lines were. They missed one line. So on the other side of the road, where the camp where they dug through them lines. So they had an electrician come out from Hot Springs, a backhoe, dug it out and that stuff. Well, the one that done the digging was putting the underground, what do they call it, kind of cable.
For fiber optic.
Yeah. And they dug through that power line. So they dug out, they took the backhoe and dug the hole, got down the problem. But the guy from Hot Springs, he didn't have the right fittings. It was the weekend. So the guys that were doing the digging had to come back to Minnesota for 2 weeks. They wouldn't be back out there. So they asked me if I knew how to run a dozer. Yeah, I know how to run a dozer. So that Monday, the guy come out, put the wires together, and I'm filling the hole in. My boss comes along. Do you know how to run that thing? No.
Here's your sign.
And then when they came back, 2 weeks later, I told them it took quite a while. I had to get to Rapid City quick. I took the dozer, went to Rapid City with it. Well, I saw the big rocks they moved with that machine. In fact, there's one right in the creek, down there by the bridge. A real big rock.
Oh,
It's on top now.
did you guys hear about the flooding?
Oh, the flood? Was it the one that we got caught
How
in?
long ago was it? Were you there when it flooded and people had to come up from the creek?
Yeah,
yeah.
we were there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, one time,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
when it.
Is that when
Yeah.
Bubba was out there and those creek crossings were just
Yeah.
Wicked.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but the day before we were leaving, there was huge storms way up, and people had to leave their campsites down by the creek and move up. And then we were driving out. We got all kinds of video of.
Yep.
I mean, the bridge was underwater the day before, both bridges.
Wow.
And it was
yeah.
just below when we were driving out
you
the
were
next day.
driving
We
out.
got a lot of video.
We had to move trees so we could drive out
Wow.
because the flood
Mm-hmm.
washed them.
I don't remember that.
Remember that one
Yeah.
tent?
Yeah, we had some trees down at camp. You could only go out of camp one way.
A guy had a tent set up right there by our trailer, and that was floating.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They asked if we had any casualties. I said, yeah, one tent drowned because it kind of floated away.
So here's a few things we've talked about where Paul doesn't remember. So we're doing this to get him rejuvenated because he has missed
Yeah.
way too many
Yeah, I
of these
miss
things.
of these good times
Yeah.
and stuff. And once,
Yeah, Paul.
and one time we had a tree down on both ends of camp, so he couldn't get in or out. But
You know, riding, I
And-
always worried about it was windy. One day, there was not even a breeze. I was taking a horse out to put in a little pasture mat for him, and this guy had just moved his trailer like maybe 12 inches to make it more level,
he was in Site 12.
and a big tree tipped right over. There wasn't even a wind. There wasn't even a breeze.
Yeah,
It
and it
came
just-
over. Was it on his
on his
ramp?
ramp.
Just
Yeah,
barely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah.
There was no breeze.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were coming back on a ride or something,
Okay.
and we seen all that commotion there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it
and
was-
there was talk of that storm, the storm coming because we put the truck right on the upwind side of our fly, and we started tying our ropes
right.
to
Yeah.
the truck,
Right.
and then just looking straight down. I mean, that was a big tree,
Big old
Yeah.
tree.
and it
yeah.
just barely like
Got his-
tapped on their
on his ramp.
on their ramp, and didn't make it so it wasn't unusable, but
Right.
it put
Right.
just a little bow in it. But that was a huge tree.
That was a huge tree,
That would
and
have
all
been
of
a
us,
bad deal if it was about.
and luckily
5
he
feet.
had just moved his trailer ahead just a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
It was made all
How
the
long ago did you make
difference.
this stick?
I finished it probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and then it sat in the hog house for probably 5 years before that. Or well, not no, it wouldn't have been that long.
No.
Nah, about 2 or 3 years, about 2 years before it, and it's been done for a couple years. So
Every time I
No.
see part of a rodeo on TV, I think about that rodeo you took me to.
oh, the rodeo,
Yeah.
yeah. We went to the PBR,
Yeah.
Professional Bull Riders in Sioux
Is that where the
Falls.
guy was bouncing around the big green rubber air-filled frog or toad spooking the heck out of the horse?
Boy, I don't remember.
There's a guy out there on horseback explaining how they're doing the point system. And this doggone clown come out and he's up and down on a little rubber toad or frog.
Oh,
And spooked the heck
probably
out of
Flint Rasmussen. He's
Yeah.
retired now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we had a lot of good times. But when we were out there from May 1st till November 1st, not much got done here at home.
Right. That's a long time to be away from
Yeah.
an
We'd
acreage in
leave,
particular.
yeah, and be out there May 1st. Sometimes there was snow on the ground yet here.
Yeah.
The ground is frozen. And when we'd come home, sometimes we almost made the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it,
Had popple saplings growing out of the rain gutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was time.
One
for
time,
us
this gal,
to be home.
she wanted to stay extra couple of days in horse camp, and Kathy put her on a site where the people left early. So I goes to collect the money, and she insisted. Kathy told her that she had the site for nothing. Well, I told her, Kathy and I agreed in the beginning, everybody be treated the same. I kept going round and round and round. Finally, she paid. She just pulling my leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one other guy from Minnesota, the sucker. What the heck was he?
It's from Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. He come out there and join up with from where the heck is he from? The international or the
Georgia.
Chevy dealer? Huh?
Georgia.
What?
Georgia.
Georgia. That guy had money. But the one from Minneapolis come out in brown nose and just hang on like everything.
Oh, just
But
fun.
one year he came out there, he missed him by a couple of days. All the other times, he'd hand me a wad of money. Here, take what you need. That's what he'd do. When he came out there, boys, just right to the penny.
When he was
So-
when the other people weren't around.
He bought the pass for 7 days. He stayed there, 1 or 2 nights? Then he headed for Yellowstone. Came back, he wanted to use the same pass. Now, anybody else,
He
I
was
would have done it,
passed.
but just the type of guy who rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I kept telling him he's got to pay.
So
He finally said, well, what do you do if I don't pay? Call law. We don't argue with the people.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were doing
Anybody
it
else
the
does.
actual legal way, but if he hadn't been such a jerk,
Hey,
Right.
we might have been able to skirt some of it. The way it was written down like I said, worked for other campgrounds and not for ours. And our bosses finally just didn't bother to come down.
Yeah.
one of our bosses, Lance, he's still working out there. He'd come down to the horse camp just to unwind.
Yeah.
In fact, he had so much fun. They spread out pop can behind the bathroom. He'd run over with the golf cart. Oh, he loved doing that.
Just get out of the office. And he knew at our campground, he could
Yeah.
unwind and relax.
When you guys meant so much to us that when we knew you were done, then see you got that plaque up there that we made
Yes.
for you. So we got pictures of all us guys down there and stuff, and because it was our 20th trip
Wow.
where we had so it would have been 2016, probably your first year back, your first year that you came just you with us. 20th trip, and that's when we had we had so many sayings that were funny things around the campfire, so we made plaques for each guy, different
Yeah.
sayings and stuff, and then you had your plaque there too. But that was a fun year. We had a lot of people there. I think we invited everybody that had been there with us at one time, so we had a few more people there.
That came out,
I remember I
yeah.
kind of broke up on that one.
Yeah, yep, nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, it's
No,
just so many good times.
Yeah. And people ask about us, but we wonder about them too.
Right?
Oh, hey,
A lot of people, how are they doing yet? And,
I think this might be the first year somebody hasn't called me bitching about the camp host. All the other years.
especially the last, or
I don't
the
think
first couple years we were
Probably
home.
I had the phone
We
hooked into
got-
wrestling and missed it.
Yeah, we got phone calls like,
Man.
where are you? What's going on out here?
Who can we talk to get them blanky blanks out of there?
See, and I kind of waver back and forth on what Rex said earlier, about the camp hosts, not really showing up, and through the week and stuff. But on the other hand, kind of with me, in a way, some of it's like, I'm just fine with
Right.
that, as long as you're not causing trouble, this and that. But
Right.
but you were the guys that we wanted to see all
Well,
the time.
Thank
Well,
you.
At least
guys were
once a day.
Genuine about wanting to see if we needed anything.
Yeah,
You were concerned.
Right, yes.
The other hosts, I don't think they
they
care.
didn't care.
You're on your own.
No, we
Like
care.
I said before, you spend a lot of money to come out there and enjoy yourself. One guy come out there one year with his family. Mitchell, South Dakota. He pulled in the back when he got them pens. He had a big rig. He got stuck. He get pulled out, and when he got the horse camp, he still wound up madder than a son of a gun. I don't remember exact words, but explaining you're here to have a good time. Just nobody got hurt. Forget it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
isn't that the one you said? Well, we'll settle up for extra pens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let 'em-
Oh yeah.
Give them a night.
Yeah, there was a. He runs a horse camp down in Colorado.
Yeah.
They come in late one night.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even bother him for the extra penny. He thanked me next day for not doing it.
Yeah.
It was late. Let them, you know, they knew how to get
Get them horses
settled
settled
in
out.
where their
One
pens
guy,
were. And,
man, I went down below the hill, and there's doggone horses standing in the mud. And all the other pens are dry because they weren't stirred up yet. I said, why don't you move your horse? He didn't know he could do that. I said, man, I wouldn't let my horse stand like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't think it was allowed.
like I said, horses came first.
But
You
according to the
know,
book, a pen, I went around and around that there too, a designated pen with a sight in the wrong, like Rodney called a stallion. Why move that down in the end someplace?
we'd always work a stallion so it could be on an end next to the horse it came out with,
Yep.
and then so
Contact
we
on
had
that.
to switch around a little bit, but you know, it kept everything nice and calm and happy, and we were more than happy to do that.
Yeah, they sure are nice pens now. And just the pens themselves and being covered.
And being covered, man, that's nice.
But we still keep getting those same sites, 15 and 16,
Yeah.
you know, so we can just be on that side of the hill so we can
Yeah.
see the horses in the.
16 always was our favorite
Yeah.
camp. Yeah. And I wonder now if I'd get out there, I'd probably have to get around horse camp with my walker and start picking up trash.
Yeah.
I wanted that campground clean.
Turn a bill in the park.
Wow. What discourages me when you're out on a trail and you see trash.
Oh.
That, I'm just people.
I mean, why do you have to do that? Had one camper, they were in Site 22, which they backed in kind of close to us. And right across is the two of the restrooms and the dumpster. When they left, they had their fire ring piled high with trash and water bottles.
Oh, my word.
They probably walked farther to put that in the fire ring than they could have walked over to the dumpster.
Yeah,
and
it's right across there.
Yeah. And you know, I don't get it.
Yeah, there's people out there, all kinds. It's just
You see all kinds. Mostly with horses, it's good.
mostly,
But
yeah.
you know.
Hey, tell them about them. What's they say? Furious cowboys that had that snake in the fire ring. That
Gee.
attacked them.
Oh, gee. Yeah, these guys, they were a little bit of the seniors, a little hefty. They were all from the South with tip the hat, ma'am, and all that stuff. And I just checked to see how everything was going, and I see one of these little grass snakes, green grass snakes. You know, they're little. They might try to bite you, but they can't open their mouths wide enough to get you. And I see it in the fire ring. Dead. And I look, I said, what happened? It came after us. We had to kill it. Little thing. I picked it out. Oh, you poor little snake. Let me go take care of you. I went around the camp, though, with about a 10-foot bull snake one time, live.
Wow.
I wanted to show people that this is a
You got a
good snake
picture of
and
that.
it's fine. You just, you know.
You brought a bull snake to our camp once and showed us.
Yeah, trying to educate them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I even got some little girls to touch it that were scared of snakes, and
But it was 10 foot long?
yeah, she was about.
Yeah,
She was a good.
Did you have a tail when I was doing the digging?
Yeah,
And all of a sudden, way up ahead on the other side of the stump is another. I thought it was another snake. The same one.
she
Wow.
was long.
yeah.
She was a very laid back snake. I had some guys come over to the camp, our camp, and he said, "Where's Jim? Is he here?" And I said, "No, he's not here. What? Can I help you?" And they kind of look at each other and, well, there's a snake under the gooseneck of our
Rattlesnake.
trailer. I said, "Oh, I'll take care of it." And they kind of look at each other, and I said, "I'll meet you over there." So I put the trash can in the back of the golf cart, went over there and looked, and yep, it was a little rattlesnake. Put the trash can down, took my grabbers, kind of pushed in the can, flipped it up, put the lid on, and anything else I can help with? And they're all standing around watching me at a distance, but
Didn't even have your dually with you. You
no,
go with the dually, didn't
I'm
even
still saving them from this snake. I mean, really.
What else can we look at, guys? You got to get those LP tanks certified every year too, then, or every so often?
They've never done that one.
Really?
No. It belongs to the gas company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's kind of weird. It's just like an RV. Those propane tanks.
Oh, yeah.
They never recertify them. They can refill them as old as they.
Really?
Yeah. But the portable ones you carry around, yeah.
But if you know the right garage. And that's your Generac.
Yeah.
And they put that in how long ago?
Last winter's the first winter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Comes on every Wednesday at 2 o'clock for 5 minutes. You know, it does that, it cuts the power off the house. Well, I shouldn't say that. It does. Cuts the power off when the power goes off. So it just must run independently when they test it. And those lines there, look at them there. They're there for this thing, whenever they get hooked up. That's that line they put on the ground.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That ain't going there.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. One time the power was off for 4 days. She lost a lot of the fish. Water was too cold in the tank.
Yeah.
I think it went down to 45 in the house or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bit chilly.
She can't take the heat, so have to have that for the art. Let's see, what haven't we looked at, guys? I used to keep the weeds out of there, the old plow and the old hay tender in there. I used to keep the weeds out of it this year. I was really doing down the
So you don't have a wood burner in any of your outbuildings or no wood?
I got wood there to burn in the fire ring. I haven't had a fire going into a fire ring.
Okay.
I got that. In fact, that's maybe 5 or 6 years old. In the shed there, in the garage there along the wall, there's birch and popple. It must be 10, 12 years old.
Oh, really?
On standby.
I bet when you had this going, you probably went through a lot of wood.
No, you know, that's the problem. People don't know how to run there.
No.
The people that go through a lot of wood, they don't ever see just ashes, they throw more wood. You want your temperature gauge.
Right.
And after the wood burns, the hot cold, that's a long time.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. But if you don't know what you're doing, you know through poison.
Yeah, I always thought that'd be nice to have on an acreage.
Yeah. So then there's that boils water, right?
You don't boil it.
It just heats it. Yeah. And then that goes into your house on the radiators and stuff. Okay.
From there to the garage, we used to have a dog kennel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, people know how to run. They're doing a lot of wood.
Save money over the years.
Yeah. I do miss the wood, but I guess I can't do any more. If I miss the wood, miss the exercise.
But it was always interesting,
Yeah.
you know. And having the buffalo walking around through camp and,
Right.
you know, every once in a while having to get in the state truck and shoo them out. Especially this guy up here.
Well, this one here in particular, huh?
That's number 9.
Ornery. Heck, he come in the camp and the other bulls will leave. He was coming and shaking his head.
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
bulls would be laying around camp. They'd get up and leave when he came in. He was always looking for trouble. He put some dents in the state truck.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
So do you
And then
you know the number on this one?
He was
No.
only a 2-year-old.
2-year-old.
it was
2.5, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was taken in the first year the park had buffalo hunts.
Oh, okay.
They had extra bulls that they weren't going to be selling
10 of
because
them.
they weren't weight-wise and maybe semen-wise, who knows. But anyway, Jim got the first hunt, and it's all coming 2-year-olds. So that's the one we got.
Okay.
And then there's a skull right around the corner. That's his skull that I decorated.
Okay. The one on the right there.
No,
No,
nope,
left over here is the
left
skull.
over behind the treadmill.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you've got it decorated pretty nice in here. You can definitely tell we were talking about, the outdoorsman side of you too.
yeah,
And it's definitely decorated that way.
nature is important.
Yep.
All of it. So But the buffalo, the more I was around them out there, the more respect and awe I got. And Jim was in the buffalo roundup, you know,
Okay.
The pre-roundup too.
the pre-roundup where the
Real roundup?
The
yeah,
one that ain't no protection.
yeah, the staff is
Was
using
it,
their horses and moving the buffalo to the south.
what was it, Augie or something that said the cow almost got me? I didn't even see her.
Yeah, during the big roundup.
Coming behind me. He had her up the truck or something.
Yeah, he got her off with it.
I didn't see her.
Well, those buffalo, they know how to kill a horse. They've done
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know,
The cows are actually more dangerous than the bulls because they're protecting their babies.
Right.
Yeah.
but they told us this was before we were hosts out there that one time they went to chase a bull. They were moving the buffalo down, and this bull kind of peeled off and went over the hill, and two of the riders went for it. Just as they got to the top of that hill, that bull came back. And he gutted one horse and he injured the other.
And the worst part is, they're on the horses.
And
Where's
those
the rifle in the trucks? Where's
yeah,
the trucks?
and
Yeah.
those were horses that were used on the buffalo all the time. So I mean, they're experienced. So they couldn't move fast enough to get out of that bull's way, and that bull set them up. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
After that, if a bull peeled off and went off away from the herd, they left it. They said, "Don't try to get it back." You know.
One time we had to move the buffalo out close to the
Close to
wildlife
the
loop.
wildlife
The
loop.
governor could see him.
Yeah, the governor was driving.
And Lexi
through.
got in front of her leg cut a little bit. I didn't even know it. And Harry come along, the law enforcement guy. Oh, he got out of the truck, water, washed her leg off. He gave me a heck. Use the park's horse, not yours. Give me a heck.
The park has some horses
Okay.
that they use.
Don't use my horse. I wouldn't ride a horse. But still, for the roundup, they tell you do not use a horse you're not used to.
Right. You better use a horse you trust.
And we had two guys come out there. They had signed up and got to be in the roundup. And they were using buffalo calves for, what do you call it, roping or what do you call it?
Cutting.
Or
Cutting. You
And
know,
my
they
God.
were professional cutters and they used them for training.
Right.
They were about a year-old buffalo.
Yeah.
So they said, our horses they won't mind seeing the buffalo.
The day before that, we take our horse out and see how they do with the buffalo and stuff. They was just one bonkers.
Well, they
Well,
tried
the
to
next
run.
morning, you got a roll call. They just weren't there.
Yeah, but remember in camp they were going to take a ride because it was before
yeah.
the round.
Yeah.
And they went up Centennial.
They didn't know it got so big.
And that bull was laying down up there. And when he got up, their horses freaked. And the two guys, they did not realize how big those buffalo got. And even though their horses were used to working on younger buffalo and the smell, they knew that was not for them. So it's
Had
you
one
have
big
to
guy.
trust your horse when you're doing that.
Had one big guy. He worked on a ranch someplace in South Dakota, and he got drawn for the buffalo roundup. And doggone, they come out there. The pickup might be a couple $100 cheaper, a couple $1,000 cheaper. They made the Pullman trailers in short ways down on Lane Johnny. The transmission started on fire,
Yeah, I burned up the truck.
and it's all they had to do to get the horse unloaded. Everything else burned up. Horses, saddles, everything.
Wow.
Well,
man.
you just think of it.
And
That's
trailer.
a 2-year-old
Yeah.
buffalo.
Yep,
Look at the
that's-
size of that head
That's a
compared to a
2-year-old, yeah.
horse.
Yeah, really.
Man.
But all the people in horse camp got together and gave them some money to help them get by.
They found a saddle. He's a big,
They
big
found
guy.
a
Found
guy-
saddle. 17 inches.
They
long.
found a big saddle for him to use
Yeah.
so he could ride in the roundup because that's what he came for.
The pickup and
They
trailer
were from
belonged to the boss.
Chamberlain.
They belonged
They
to
were
the
from
boss.
Chamberlain, yeah. And so we got them all taken care of.
Sure.
But yeah, and then we had a guy come in with how long was that trailer? 55
Oh,
feet?
good God, that
Oh,
guy.
my word.
Had everything in
It's
it,
gonna be hard to
fireplace,
believe.
everything. You know, it was beautiful. But he came in the way they tell you to come in on the paved road, come in towards Bluebell.
Mount Coolidge, and that's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, before he got to Bluebell, there were some horses in the road that had
That's what
gotten
he
out.
says.
Yeah, from the riding stable. But
Jerry
anyway,
says no.
yeah, he moved over a little too far, and there's no shoulder.
Yeah.
And and his trailer dropped off that. Now he's hung up. It's a side load horse trailer, and that's on the downside. So you can get the horses out. So they had to wait for a wrecker that had a boom that could lift it up and bring it over. So when he got in the horse camp, we checked on the horses and they were
It was
okay.
$1,200, wasn't it? That time, the first
Yeah,
time?
$1,200 to get it back on the road. And they stayed and for 3-4 days, and they decided they'd go out the back way down Lame Johnny to go out, so they didn't have to worry about that. Well, he did not know a lot about pulling a 55-foot trailer because he cut one of the curves on the road too short and dropped the other side of the trailer off over the culvert, got it hung up.
Oh, the culvert.
Yeah, so there he was. Took out his sewer, took out all the stuff underneath the trailer.
They had to send somebody to cut off the trailer. You know, the trailer's coming in and go a different route.
Yeah, we had to stop
And
that.
there, it was on the other side. I could smell
Well,
the
you
gas
could get-
leaking. I told him, you better get the horse out of the
Yeah,
trailer.
he had the horses there, but we could unload them there. So we got the horses out and we're up to the side and had to get a couple more wreckers in. That cost him a couple thousand.
Yeah.
His wife is up there saying, we're getting a shorter trailer. Because that, but both directions. He
Another guy, he bought a real nice trailer, a repo, but he found out his pickup wasn't made to pull it. Man, with marble kitchen counter and stuff, remember?
Oh, gee,
Yeah.
granite
Nice trailer.
on the counter. Kitchen. I mean, really something.
What were they
Copper,
trying to
it's
say?
all copper, inside copper sinks, copper. Oh.
Wow.
Was that in the horse camp when people were trying to sell the stuff out of the trailer because they couldn't make the hills to get out of there?
I don't
Or was that
remember.
in Montana?
I don't remember. Oh, we had some
Couldn't make
interesting
hills.
people. Yeah, interesting. And the people come in, they go, yeah, dressed, yeah, we're cowboys. We work cow, yeah. The more they talked about it, the less you see, the less they knew.
Right.
The real cowboys that came in didn't talk about it.
Bud Lee?
No.
They're so we always got a kick out of that.
That made me feel bad. Old. This guy by the name of Bud Lee. He's a real rancher. Works cattle out and all. He don't even talk about it. But the thing is, we got a Christmas letter from last year. He gave us 2 horses away.
Yeah,
Done riding. Then the age hit me.
yeah. I never thought that
We'd
him
walk
and
every
his
day from
wife
camp
would
out the
be
bridge and back every morning. Me and him
without
and his dog.
horses. You kind of not say end. Getting close, It's,
Right.
You think about it, we were in our 30s when we started going out there.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
Well, I remember us being out there and having a couple people come to our camp say, we've been coming up here for 25 years. And we're like, wow.
Yeah.
Now we're coming up on our 29th
Or-
trip
See?
next year,
Yeah.
I
You're
think.
just about there. Yeah.
Oh, I'll just show you some pictures too of my mare. I don't know what you guys want. I got a knee pain. Can't go. The morning sheep. Like that. Later at night. Yeah, I got the picture nice. Show them to you. She's like, oh, yeah, that's what they're made for. Yeah. It might be, huh, Jim? You've seen the horses.
Yeah, nice place.
Do you have a garden, Jim? No. You know, we got married, well, people always have a garden.
Yeah.
We got married, his sister have a garden. You know? 1 year or so before, I was drawing, got a very little garden. I was doing somebody stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how cheap it was. From that day on, the heck with the garden. The guys, I worked at the Diamond Tuna Horseshoe in the Ford shop. You get too hot, they quit and go home. Well, before they had solid beer on the way home. Well, anyhow, the thing I'm getting at, I'd have to go home with them because I rode with them. So what do? I come home, go out in the hot garden and work the rest of the day. No, the garden. I suppose the food's better, but no way. I'm done with it. In fact, that used to, apple trees out there, that was all garden. And out here, you see it looks like a hay field growing there? That was all garden. Yeah. And for some weird deal, I don't know why, but as a kid, I had to do it every day. I had to go along and tuck in the vines for the cucumbers and cultivate it. Every day.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck, I don't remember why it had to be done that way. Probably some old saying the old, something the old timers had going. Yeah. Yeah, we know that's long before we remember as a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. We moved here in 55.
How old were you then?
I was born in 42. 10 years old. Heck, before that, we lived over in Mattawa. And he was 3rd or 4th grade. I got put in the woods working. In them days, the chainsaws were so heavy, they just cut the trees down.
Yeah.
They would brush them with axes. 3rd or 4th grade. Yeah. I got a scar on my leg yet. My dad got me.
I cannot believe any of my 3rd or 4th grade grandkids.
Yeah, you don't realize how fast those years go by.
No.
But your times out there all together with that's so special.
Yeah.
And Jim and I were thankful how you included us in making us feel, that we could spend some time in your campsite
Oh,
with
yeah.
you.
You guys are quality individuals.
Yeah.
So-
That's why we're up here today,
Yeah,
too.
we appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and we really appreciated when you drove down for that wild game feed party in the hog house afterward.
Jim, I remember you talking to Kelly one time, and you were telling him that you had an accountant, some accountant in like Chicago or someplace, knew that you said he was Jewish. Did you have a Jewish accountant?
What?
Like a tax guy?
We had a Jewish stockbroker.
Oh, Jewish guy, yeah.
Stockbroker.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Because I remember you telling my son Kelly about that.
Uh-huh.
Because you told him, once you start getting a little bit of money, you find a good...
If they'd only listen. No, if they'd only listen. If only one kid would listen, boy. I'm telling you, it'll take like 1 hour's wages a week. Get $1,000 invested.
Put it away.
We're at Diamond Tool. They call me a poor farmer. There's one lady. She was quality control, and she talked to me. She got me hooked up with this here Jew. The best thing ever happened.
Yeah, for a stockbroker.
Yeah.
We were lucky
He's-
in that
for-
respect that Jim worked out. We lived on that money, and the cattle we put away. So
No, I lost my line of
that
thought.
mine. About Mike,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah. How many years has he either part or whole owner of the Huskies baseball team in Duluth?
it's a minor league team.
And for how many years he's trying to get me to a baseball game?
Yeah, many.
He's not even putting behind a net where nothing can get at you. But he ain't done.
Jim has a phobia about balls. If you throw a ball, throw something, he's gone.
Yeah.
He can't, and he can't watch it. Came in to watch me playing softball once.
Oh, good God!
He had to. I was the pitcher. I was
thought
the
you were hitting the
pitcher.
head.
Yeah, he had to leave.
She was pitching. The guy throwing what from what do you call it, first base or third base. Mm-hmm. I was sitting up on a hill with my back against the tire in the truck. Scared the shit out of me. I got it in the truck, went home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anything
Well,
else he can handle, but no
yeah,
balls.
One time I heard on TV this guy, he had a glove on, the ball 100 miles an hour or something. It split his hand.
Yeah.
I don't need that. Can't milk cows with one hand in the cast.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many people even know how to milk a cow anymore?
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I commented, I don't know if I told you guys, I commented my doctor several years ago. I feel so stupid out of camp, all these educated people, professors and teachers and all that kind of stuff. He says to me, how many people, how many of them guys can take the calf out of a cow? But I'm a dying breed. I don't know.
You know more than most of them put
The
together.
vets actually thanked me for doing a lot of my midnight runs.
Yeah.
And the most I
Helping
got paid
people.
is coffee and a donor of coffee and a cake or something.
helping people get calf out. Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, our old vet, Well, she thought I was going to put in prison. He turned me in to the state, neutering cats. But all the cats I neutered, they never take them to the vet. They couldn't afford it. And I came home one day from work, and Kathy said, a girl's coming out here at 5 o'clock, whatever, have her cat neutered. So I cut out one testicle, and she said, how much you charge? I said, I don't charge you anything. I just appreciate it if you did not work for the local vet.
Or did not tell him.
You know what she says? I work for him. You didn't charge her full price. Yeah.
Our vet now has shown other people and how to neuter a cat. That's you can't do it on a dog, but
There's
cat
actually
you
two
can.
vets were after me, Skelko and
Yeah.
Eklund.
Yeah.
They turned me in a state vet.
Well,
That's something you ain't going to believe. It's against the law to neuter your own cat, okay?
Really?
But it's not against the law to castrate a calf. What's the sense here?
Yeah. Or a hog or something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Makes
cat,
difference.
Minnesota, I don't know if it's still law or not, but that's state vet come around here and talking to me about it. So I say, should I go? Well, you kind of wacko anyhow. You know, I'll take care of it, he says.
Take care of him, yeah.
Yeah. What do they say down at the University of Minnesota?
University of Minnesota, where he went to vet school, that one guy. He's a vet over at Moose Lake. They just shook their heads and went, And
Sounds
then
like he's kind of nuts.
yeah, and his daughter was, yeah, and his daughter's the same way. Very
Will you
moody.
be here all week?
Yeah, very, very moody. And I worked for a vet for 10 years, and a super guy. He, I assisted with all the surgeries I learned on the job
Sure.
training. He had been my vet for about 20 years, and he wanted to partially retire. Well, everybody kept coming to him, but we'd follow him wherever he went. I drove 40 miles to him all the time. And when he asked if I wanted to work for him, I loved it.
Yeah.
You know.
We could see you being that kind
Yeah.
of person that would love that job.
Yeah, I did. And the people that came,
Remember Rocky?
Rocky the Cougar. Yeah. That was cute. This other vet we were talking about mentioned he had botched up a declaw
A different vet.
on this cougar. So some of the claws were out and they were sideways and they were just causing such pain. So we were going to try to remove some of those. And we got him out. To knock him out, they had the cat in the hallway with his owner. And we had, the hip could be reached, and I would hold the tail on the count of 3. I held down the tail, gave him the shot real quick, and put him out. Putting him up on the surgery table, my goodness, he fell over both ends. I mean, he was a big neutered male cat. He was big. And we did several of the claws and got the worst ones done. And then we put him down, we let him wake up. And he's down the hall a ways, and he woke up, but he didn't want to get up and go. So I'm in the surgery room cleaning up things, and all of a sudden I see the owner walking by with the chain that goes around the cougar. He had the chain over his shoulder, and he's walking down, pulling stuff. And pretty soon, here goes Rocky. Rocky's just laying there, head up, paws crossed, just laying there, being dragged down the hall. I said, well, hello, Rocky. Well, goodbye, Rocky. He did go out the front door then. But, I mean, he was
Something.
some of those things, and yeah.
Yeah.
My dad bought me a pistol. And the part of the fucking well here. Yeah. You can see as it moves out, and as I got bigger, getting right at the tip, there's another hole. And I put it on me now, and I can't reach it. I dug out one to show you guys, yeah. No, after. And that's before. I worked my way out to the very tip and put a hole in the end. I had a piece of twine on there for red length.
So you think that's from the 50s?
Oh yeah, this is from the 50s, yeah.
Yep.
That's probably 50. When we over 55?
You were moved here 55.
Probably 56. Oh. Yeah, probably 56. Christmas present.
Because I was in the 3rd grade when you moved here.
Uh-huh.
Are you starting to get hungry yet?
Me?
Yeah.
I was born hungry. Several years ago, I go to the dentist office. She gave me another appointment. And she says, do you need a card? And I said, no. In fact, I remember the day I was born, we had fish. It was on a Friday, 1942, September 15th. She got on that crazy telephone. September 15th, 1942. What's not on a Friday? She gave me an appointment. You know the old saying, don't sell the old homestead. Dad, give the goddamn thing away.
Well,
Now you're gonna have to toe the line. I got a club.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we might have to write a rule book or something for this thing. And,
What you can and cannot do.
You go ahead. You can write the rule book, but I may modify it some. Tweak it a little bit here or there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we sure appreciate you guys letting us come up here.
Oh, I'm
and
glad to
spend
see you
some
guys.
time with you guys.
Oh, it's been fun to talk about good old times, and hopefully we'll have some more in the future.
That's what life is about, is making history or memories.
Making memories. Yep. You bet. It's one thing you always look back on and enjoy.
Yep.
And,
Yeah. So is there anything you guys would like to say to people that may see this thing, or people that you've known from camp, or is there any message you guys would like to leave?
There's no such thing as good old days. Period.
except all the meals you got at Norse Camp. Those are
I wasn't
your
that
good
old then.
old.
I mean old.
Oh, you wasn't old. You weren't old.
School
I
days.
just want to say how much we miss seeing everybody that we used to see out there. Missed you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to be able to contact, saying hi.
You bet. Well, I'm going to contact Custer Park and hopefully I plan on putting a poster out there at the shower house or something, and try to contact people so that they can leave it there. And like I said earlier, not just see something and tear it down, like pictures of him getting kissed by girls in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Maybe this can stay up there as well.
Hopefully they'll
And,
leave it. Yes.
Yeah, so people can see it and just kind of see that you guys are doing well.
Too
And,
bad you didn't know
that's-
somebody. What did I say? The park. Too bad the park even has to know about it. Like the cleaning people, they knew about it. They leave it there with the park. Like bullhead.
Yeah. And I don't know who
now.
supervises anymore, or the
They're real
camp
particular on
host.
that.
I have no idea.
Yep. I'll just, if I get a hold of somebody ahead of time, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll just drive out there and talk to people and whatever.
Yeah.
So, another reason to go to the Black Hills.
Oh,
So you guys can start reading that book and have something this winter. And
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
And then we have to get back together so we can return the book.
no, that's yours.
Well, thank you.
We'll get
But-
together again, but not for that reason.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, and you two guys, thanks for coming up. I appreciate
Not
it.
a problem.
Paul
It's an honor.
I enjoyed it.
And Paul talks way too much. You notice that.
Hard to get a word in.
Yep, you bet. So anyway, thanks again. We're gonna do some more visiting here, and we'll tear this stuff down
Okay.
and finish the rest of the evening.
Sounds great.
All right.
Sounds great.
Thanks
Jim.
for watching.
a wrap.
That was fun.
See, it wasn't so bad after you got it going on it.
No, it was off now.
I kept hitting this mic all the time over here on this side. You know. But you don't hear it as much as when you have earphones in for this.
So now you got two different audios and you gotta splice them together.
Yeah, so this will
That's why you
have
clapped.
these 4 audios, yep. And then your line will be just underneath, even though it wasn't used much.
My butt's
No.
saying it went up.
Yep.
Now you-
See, mine's padded over here.
Yeah, you got the right
Goodness, I could
there.
go get a few things.
But I'm gonna have to hit the restroom again. You can probably kill it.
Jim has a phobia about balls. If you throw a ball, throw something, he's gone.
Yeah.
He can't, and he can't watch it. Came in to watch me playing softball once.
Oh, good God.
He had to. I was the pitcher. I was
thought
the
you'd be hitting
pitcher.
the head.
Yeah, he had to leave.
She was pitching, the guy throwing what from, what do you call it, first base or third base? I was sitting up on a hill with my back against the tire in the truck. Scared the shit out of me. I got it in the truck, went home.
Yeah. Yeah.